Morning. We have already gone through the news and everything else. You could check it on that video. If anything, a lot of biotechs this morning, but we did get the passing of the bill. You're still near the highs, but you are starting off a little bit lower. We had details about trade deals and what we're going to hear from Besant and Trump and all of that. So we will see where it takes us, my friends, but and what we're going to hear from Besant and Trump. It should be a good day, though. Again, if anything, I mean, remember last week you had several days that went up. The volatility, or again, the liquidity was low because of the holiday. So see how that plays out. Otherwise, there's not really much data. You're not going to hear much from the Fed. People will be keeping an eye out for anything related to trade deals and all of that, but we will see. And yeah, big, beautiful melt up. I was thinking about it this morning, man. We do got to be humble and be careful, because the moment we think something is going to play out, I do think the path of least resistance is still to the upside. But man, this is sell the rips, and we have seen a volatility already this year. Maybe this is just our period of calm, but anything could change at any moment. But you do have July working in your favor, so we will see. Russia allows foreigners to serve in its military. Hot dog. So, Chad, we got about 30 seconds. I got a couple plays. Again, like I said, I'd watch Labu and IBB. There's a ton of biotechs. I'm going to be watching Staples and Pepsi. I think depending on what we do from here and even the bill, that's going to be a good one. Watch the dollar in defense. And then Geo, CXW, the prison ones, those are tied into the big, beautiful bill there because they're getting money. So we will see. Hot Chad Summer. Oh, I know. Oh, man. Wasn't like Hot Girl Summer like 2017? Or no, is that 2020? Okay, it's not too old. I'm like, man, it's getting old. Round one. Fight. All right. Well, Chad, good luck. Have a great day. And let's see where it brings us. So, yeah, MP, again, the prisons went up on the money. A couple of, what's it called? Solar plays, too. So, remember, towards the end of last week, as the bill was going through, remember the solars, they all started to benefit a little bit. So, watch out for that. Oh, where's FedEx, UPS? Again, NVO's up for a little bit, like I'm saying. I'd watch Labu and IBB. They're actually down, though. Not bad. That's kind of crazy. So I think there's like 4 or 5 biotech approvals. IonQ is going insane in the morning. You had a lot of crypto stuff. Again, Rigetti. There was something else on like Quantum, I believe, this morning. We had another headline on it. Or Coors. I think it was Coors buying that one company. 3 years sober? Oh, let's go, Mr. Warnock. That's what I'm talking about. Amen, bro. Are you kidding me? Yalla. Oh, I sold that apple on Friday. I forgot. Yeah, that was a good one, though. Oh, yo, remember that MLCO? That play hit. I have no idea what that was. I remember it. Wasn't it Bitcoin Treasury? Or no. What's it called? This was a Chinese resort. Yeah, those went up. You can sell them if you want. They have a shit ton of time. I have not looked at the long term. Wells Fargo. See if banks could start to lead. And then I haven't looked at Staples yet. Yeah, they're pretty down. Nvidia's climbing. Staples only down by 0.3. There's Baba. Again, Baba is... they're like raising a bunch of money to like do these like different projects. You heard about the news in the last like week or two. But like every day you're getting an update and the stock kind of reacts. So they are giving, it's like they're trying to raise $12 billion or something. And they had something there. I saw Apple go up. Yeah, that's in the top right. That's why I forgot we sold some of those plays last week. I did roll over to a cheap one, but those got clobbered. So yeah, but again, Apple last week did very, very good. Again, the OpenAI news. Where's Oracle? Whoever called that in the morning. It's down now, but Oracle might be able to flip. SPY is near the low. Long-term rocketing. Oh. Well, we will see in a second. Well, I think this one's down for now. SRFM Palantir stake. Like Palantir took a stake. And then 62.54. That's kind of crazy. So again, you're at 62.50. You topped out 62.80 and then 62.79. That is your close on Thursday. Very interesting. Let's see. Oil's actually kind of up. I don't know how I feel about that. Rigetti drop. Equal weight is down by 0.5%, but then so is the SPY. So they're both kind of washed there. But yeah, 62.54. You have gapped like what, 20 to 30 points? SRFM. Oh, that's old. Well, there you have it. Wheeler. Where's Whirlpool? Remember they were doing crazy on Friday. First Solar. Like I said, there was something. One of the solar names. They got an advantage due to the bill, and then one of them got an upgrade this morning. But no, that one's down. Was it Run? I forgot who it was. Enphase? Apple Appeals. That was in the morning. CRM starting to rocket up a little bit, only 0.25%, but so far, first 5 minutes have been down. NASDAQ down about 0.75%, SPY about 0.5%, Russell down 1%, and then Dow Jones just under 0.25% as well. Yeah, give it like 20 minutes and I'll let you know, but like the breakdown. But yeah, it seems like everything's dumping. And then you have Tesla down 6 or 8 now. Blech. So this is the America First sentiment. I'm kind of down for a Tesla now that I think about it. Let's see what we got. MGM, they got downgraded, I believe. And then again, MLCO. That was the China one I made a play on. I like the, what's it called though? I do like some of the gambling stocks. Well, not like you gambling, but like Wynn, MGM, like casinos. That the China Macau numbers last week were really good. Hanalana. Hanlen, Mr. Banana. Banana, na 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 na. That's minions. They don't. All right, MGMs. I don't know if that's cores or core weave or cores on the high. Levi, Pinduo now. I do want to see the long term. I want to see the long term in Tessies. Ba-na-na-na-na. They're a little bit more. So you're paying about 50% premium on any Tesla contracts. They are down 8%. LVS does have the largest China exposure. Yes, you are correct. It's kind of crazy. The company called Las Vegas Sands, they have more properties in China. Oh, I forgot. Even bonds, too, though. Don't forget, they got a little bit of a bounce last week. There's MPC now, or I think it was MP that was down. Robinhood selling off. Kava, Joby, Oklo. See if any of the other nuclears followed behind. And then banks starting to come up. Remember, banks were big last week. Then I see Hyatt. I don't know about travel per se. I like Tesla. I'm just going to wait. But yeah, I like them. RGC, why does that sound familiar? Yeah, I think they got a FDA, or they got some phase 2 thing today. ALGN. Yeah, look at Citi. Citi just woke up out of nowhere. What is this? I don't think that's normal. Let me see if they have an event. Starbucks starting to climb up as well. Oh, yes. UNH last week was big. I don't know if you guys remember. UNH at one point, I mean, it was driving the whole Dow. So, yeah. I forgot about that one. I'm seeing if Citi has an event right now. June 10th. They have an Q2. Oh, July 15th. That's why. So I forgot. Earnings. So, yeah. Bank earnings are next week. Shit. In a week or two, so some of them are starting to go. Wells Fargo, Bank of America are down. Circle on the low. PRGO on the high. Perigo, that one's related to medical. They do the abortion pill. Yeah, they're kind of up. Perigo hasn't moved. We made a flip on that a while ago. CNC, NVIDIA moving as well. I see several NVIDIA candles right now. And then, yeah, PRGO, it's about 1%. Nothing has triggered 3% like moves yet. So we are getting some movements, but nothing like crazy news for now. Valero on the high. I don't know. Again, energy was already up in oil, so see. And Duolingo. Oh, no way. Whoa! It's real. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're back from the holiday. And without delay, Bradley Frizzle and the Peach Baby. Oh my goodness, where's the horn? Horn! Oh, Peach Nation, good morning. That's how you Monday right there. Nestle chair exits following investor unease over price concerns about corporate governance model. Nestle. Oh, I think they're foreign. And we got that Peach. You know why? Because Peach is healthier than Nestle. So that's why. That's why the Peaches have been long-standing. The leadership, oh, they don't feel me, bro. Speak of which, where is the Boeing? The Bobo. Wow. My man, good morning. Any opinion on BMNR? I mean, I saw it at $14 in front of everybody here, and I played the, what's it called? CEP. So if you remember when I played CEP, I told you guys about that on day one. I think so hear me, you guys, okay? Please hear me right now. Somebody's going to get mad about what I'm going to say. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm trying to protect a majority of people, okay? And do as you please. You make your own decisions. It's your own risk. None of this is a recommendation. But the way that I have talked about these Bitcoin treasury plays, they are all a scam. That's how I view it. And why? Because I told you we are entering in the phase of monetizing Bitcoin. It is a job now to buy Bitcoin. What is your job? My job is to buy Bitcoin. What do you mean your job is to buy Bitcoin? I buy Bitcoin, they pay me. That's a job nowadays. That's a career path. So they're all scams in my opinion. And I could be wrong, and maybe one of them changes the world. But until that happens, being a real investor, I care about safety. So any of those plays, man, I played CEP. I think you could, if you want to gamble and you want to speculate on them, you can. Just don't fall in love with them. And if you get them early enough, you could usually make them free. That's what I did with CEP. But I think after you miss it, I wouldn't really waste your time. But just be careful. That's all. All it is people, they're monetizing, creating hype around this Bitcoin. People, you have an opportunity to make money if you're early and if it has a good team. But when it's all said and done, this is like the SPAC days. That's what it reminds me of. It's a very, very new thing going on right now. And again, some of them are going to probably win and some will be successful. But I'm at the end of the day, I'd rather be more concerned with which ones that aren't, because that's going to cost a lot of people a lot of money. So be careful on it, but I don't think heavily. I don't care even if you put Elon Musk behind one of them. Just the action of, Bitcoin treasury and then raise money on the market and do this little pyramid scheme, I'm going to always view it as a scam. So, again, I own one of them. I made a fuck ton of money. I made a couple 100% because I realized this was a scam early and I just got in. That's how you make money on a pyramid scheme. You get in first, right? So, at the end of the day, though, I would be very cautious and do not be buying any of these like Bitcoin treasury plays at the elevated price. I think that's a very foolish risk. Uber. I already rolled them over, Kyle. I think you were the guy who would ask me every time. So yeah, I rolled over to a $90 ones in January or September 27th or December. Let me see. So yeah, I already rolled over and I got all of our money back, and then we unlocked $20 of equity. So yeah, I rolled over to 92.50 on December. I closed out the January 60. So I got to unlock $22 a share. And then I got the same, it was like, what, $3,000 a pop or $2,700 a pop for every contract. So yeah, I already rolled those over. And then if you haven't been keeping up to date, maybe in the next few days here, I will be selling the big long term, not the small one, but we are going to sell the big long term to turn it into a farm. Like, no joke, a literal farm. So yeah, here we are. But yeah, I rolled those over. Wolf, I don't know why they're up again. I know they had the bankruptcy stuff earlier, but they're there. And then MBio, that was on the high from the morning. Google started to drop. You guys were calling Amazon a little bit ago. That one's still holding. Ooh, tractor. I think it comes with a tractor. I was there over the weekend and there was a couple of tractors there. that I think come with the property, because you gotta like, it's not like a tractor, but you gotta like scrape the dirt. But I figure I need grass, bro. That's what I realized I wanted. I told you it's all dust. It's all dirt. I want grass. I want to make a football field. That's my father's house. Oh, sorry. Long-term restart, I know. But listen, you guys better get a long-term. I'm telling you now. Because there will be somebody in here who is going to watch us do all of it. They're going to watch us start the long-term. They're going to watch us start it over, turn it to a house. And then we're going to build it back up, God willing. But don't you dare be a spectator in this. You know what I'm saying, bro? You better make sure, bro. I know. So I think we have 3.7 or 4 gallons per minute from the well. The well's kind of small, but it has a good flow. That's why the inspection, I needed a delay, because the well people took a minute. Amazon. You're gonna start another long term? Nice. That's good. Amen. I love it. You breaking out. I did see that starting to go up. I forgot what it was the other day. They got a catalyst. And then what was it? What was the one I told you guys about? Remember UiPath? That thing kind of went up since I talked about it, but that one's been fascinating still. I haven't used it though since I told you guys. Ken Gorelski, target on Uber to 120. Jeez. Okay. How deep is the well? Oh, I have to double check. I have the report. But it's good though. It's actually like brand new. So that's the thing that's good about it. They did a 2-hour test. Amps 11.4. I don't know. It doesn't say the size. What if there's treasure at the bottom of the well? I mean, it would work. I'm short enough to be a leprechaun, so why not? I'd be down. MBio again. That one's still going again. High ticker. MBio is actually really running. That was doing that since pre-market. So up 370%. Tem, Data Kelb. Oh, you guys remember Datadog? We hit a play on that on Friday. Yeah, Datadog was the good earnings. That came down. CVS announces quarterly dividend. And then Canadian Foreign Minister Anand to visit Japan and Malaysia for an Asian meeting this week. Rise. Welcome. New to options. Show you the way. Well, I'm down to show you the way, but it comes first with stocks. You know, because I know a lot about options. I think options has been great to my life, and I've learned a lot about it. And I know a lot about it, but my knowledge of it started in stocks. So I'll teach you options. I have a lot of tutorials. Go to the trading fraternity. You could find thousands of videos that have taught a lot of people. But at the end of the day, I would get a long-term first. You should get a long-term, save 10% of your money for stocks you're going to hold for a minimum of 10 years. You get familiar with equity. It's going to translate perfectly into options. You make a separate account for options with 10% of your 10%. And that's the money organization plan. And if you could do it that way, that usually will get you on a good path to success. But start with equity, start with long term, and separate them. Looking for tradesmen. I'm looking for people who know how to like farm. So we might need some audio stuff eventually, but for now, once I put it out, we're gonna do some tryouts or interviews to see. I want to show you guys the video, but yeah, it is like just there's a lot. There's another that old news. Baidu is up for him. Like I told you guys, China is at a very interesting spot right now. I think they're the true wild card for summer, or they could even do nothing and chill. But at the end of the day, wherever they end up, I think it has a high implication. Yeah, Baba's red, but again, Baba's like holding up. It's still kind of crazy. They are dropping, but remember, from the beginning of the year, they were at 80. And so they're still holding that gain, not to mention everything else, but we'll see. We just got to see whether they survive China's summer and whatever China does with the trade deals. I did see Broadcom going. They have been on fire. And then remember, Cadence and Synopsys on Friday. They got a lot. Eli Lilly, that's weird, because NVO's up. Meta's starting to go now. What time is it? 10 more minutes. I'll get you guys a checkup. And then we will see. WW? Is that Weight Watchers? No, WW International. Coin on the high. Forgot about that. Moscow. Transport minister found dead in apartment after dismissal by Putin. Jeez. EPV. Oh, where's Disney? And then Pepsi again. I still think Staples with the bill. That's gonna be fire, but we got to give it a little bit. And then Apple's starting to go, or no, that was something else. It's just Amazon. Amazon and Meta are your big tech. See what happens with Google and Microsoft. Microsoft's the one doing nothing right now. Remember that Mag 7, the narrow rally. That's gonna be a part of all of this. So keep that in mind. Trip on the high again. Didn't they have a headline on Friday about somebody taking a stake? Yeah, Trip went crazy on Friday. So see if that goes around. Who took a stake? Didn't Starboard? Someone took it 10. Was it Ackman? Somebody took a stake in it. Damn, those still have premium. Dell and then Coin. IRA, should that replace your long-term? Yes and no. I mean, IRA is like a long-term, but you just have different liquidity. So once you're in an IRA, you literally cannot pull that money out until you retire. So without penalty and other stuff. That's what you got to watch out for. So as long as you're chill with that, yeah, but just don't. I still believe you should be saving 10% of your money every time you touch it and then saving it into a separate account. So all you got to do. PR on the high. Palantir now. Nillah Habibi. You won't have it. I mean, you can get it for a house. They just add extra steps. That's all. And like you could borrow and loan against it. So again, it is a long term. It's different, and it does kind of force the commitment, because once you put that money in there, you really are not pulling it out till retirement, unless you want to pay a fee or go through again a lot of different steps. And the SPY is running, so I'm waiting. I'm trying to get you guys the checkup. I think we're at a very interesting spot right now, because again, I'm seeing a couple of names. You have like half of the tech names holding. There's Trip again, and then GSAT. Remember, GSAT was up in the morning, came down. Something about satellites. And then MSTR, you already had Coinbase running. Robinhood was on the low, so see if that flips with it. And then Win and the casinos, those are doing good. Datadog was big earnings on Friday, remember? That was like a really, really hype earnings. We hit that one play. But yeah. GLD on the high. Gold got a stick right there. TDS on the high in many ways, more than one. And then SPY still up. I mean, it's about 0.5% on the NASDAQ. So we'll see. So please read the rules. And then again, you guys, so if I ban you, I can't unban you now. So YouTube does not let me unban people anymore. So you get 3 timeouts and you're gone. Okay? We'll play it like baseball. But other than that, I would read the rules though. It's a little bit more high stakes for this quarter. I did try to unban as many people as possible. If you're still not unbanned, you could email me a link to your channel. And we'll get that since it has been a quarter. But yeah, and everybody else in the future, just keep that in mind. Airlines are going a little bit earlier, so let's see. And then it's weird because oil's both like expensive and not. But yeah, there's UAL. There's Baidu again. That one keeps climbing. I feel like we're going to get a China news with that one. Yeah, it's been a while since Baidu had a move like this. Datadog inclusion. Wasn't it earnings too? Or am I tripping? Something on Friday. There's Tesla. I wanted the Tesla puts. They weren't up that much, but I was going to wait. I was going to wait for a bounce. Oh, they didn't go up. See, that's what I'm saying, though. I wanted the Tesla puts, but even on the flush, FRPT on the low, there's a couple of things kind of selling off. I'm checking the Teslas, but like, I'm telling you, I don't even think they went up on that move. So the plays I would have bought didn't even go. Please hold while we connect your launch. Yeah, the plays are cheaper. Fuck yeah. That is the problem. So literally, if you bought a Tesla put 10 minutes ago, you would have lost money. So I was looking over here. I think last time I mentioned it, the puts are cheaper. The puts are going for maybe like 60, 70 cents. Now they're at like 50. So yeah, I like the Tesla. I just like the Tesla sentiment. That's all. I mean, I do think the whole America party is kind of a bad idea, but it just brings, makes Elon easy to hate. But remember, he got his paycheck with SpaceX, you guys. Elon's a DOD guy, bro. Flutter on the high. I haven't heard much about the gambling. They didn't really benefit off of the bill. So we'll see. Boeing pop. A little bit, yeah. Boeing kind of staying pinned. It just went up about 40, 50 cents. It's climbing. I don't know. Maybe we'll get some more. Boeing. Back to Cali. Okay. All right, I got some really cheap ones. It filled me. I went in like 70% below the ask and it filled still. That's why I hate Boeing, bro. Crazy spreads. Not a recommendation. You will lose money. May pull up a Ross Perot and cause a split vote. It may. Well, it's just gonna really, I think it's gonna like piss off all the people for the midterms, because this is gonna put that into jeopardy. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. That's what I was saying, bro. You realize Donald Trump got his money. I can't believe it. But then I do get it. He bribed everybody. That's how they were able to pull it off. But so even if you lose the fucking midterms, who cares? You have all the money now. So now Trump's plan is funded, which is crazy to think about. So we'll see, but I think that's why I think Elon's doing it to spite him, but deep down I think it's all a show, because I really do think that Elon is making his money from the Department of Defense. I don't think he gives a shit about EVs and Tesla, as wild as that may sound. I don't think they're trolling. I think just perception. I think it takes some heat off of Elon and then obfuscates the fact that he's getting money from other places that are worth a lot more. That's what I'm saying. Nobody wants to talk about the government spending, and we bring up all the random issues, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, there's a lot of money going to certain areas and certain people benefit off of it. So he could be mad about some things, but I mean, if I owned SpaceX and I was in the Department of Defense like that, I don't think I would be bothered. Would I consider 1-year certificates a start for the long term? Are you in America? I've never heard 1-year certificates. So just buy stock, equity. You want to own long term, minimum 10 years. Anything else is just, I have no idea what you're talking about. Caesars, again, win MLCO. That's the other one I had. They're starting to go. Yeah, that whatever MLCO is, that thing held. I got a shit ton of time on that. I want apples, but no. The apple is no good at price, Habibi. Oklo, Circle on the high now. Again, Oklo's been dropping. Then you have SPY. Finally, it's 10 a.m. So top of the hour here. We've been here for 30 minutes. SPY's actually even starting to fade a little bit. Our volume, 6 million in 30 minutes. It's kind of slow, bro. The VIX is green, but it's still very low considering what we kind of dealt with. But then again, it's been 2 months. Well, let me get you guys your checkup. So Dow Jones right now, 9 names in the green, 21 in the red. NASDAQ 100, 26 names in the green, 74 in the red. And then SPY, 187 green, and then 310 in the red. All right, well, SPY starting to move down here. Couple names going up that were down, like Circle, Coinbase. I think Robinhood might catch up with it. IWM recovered half of the loss today. They were down about 1% 30 minutes ago. Would I consider building a REIT versus a rental? If you want to do that, but they just have different advantages and disadvantages. I don't like REITs because you don't get the equity of the property. So all of the stuff you hear me talk about real estate, I share with you guys how I benefit off of the equity. I love equity. So when you buy a REIT, you're just collecting the revenue. You're just getting the income. So if that meets your financial goals, by all means, yo, what the fuck is this? 4 candles all the way down. Google on the low. What is this? Yeah, no, it got pretty big. I mean, we haven't really moved much, but you did about 0.5% or 0.25%. NASDAQ's not moving down that much, so that's the good part. Remember what we dealt with on Friday. And remember last week, the whole equal weight thing? So equal weight's already down. Now the SPY's down a little more. I think that might just be Google, to be honest with you. And then you already have the other ones down, like Tesla. But then if NVIDIA comes down, Trump promises UFC event on White House grounds. SE on the high. And then MOS, just watch the video and then the big tech. Like I told you, you have about 3/4 of the SPY red or indexes. So it's an interesting push and pull. Circle. No, I don't. You guys fell for it again. You guys are more shocked by a UFC event on the White House and not topless men and women taking photos. Odd. Very, very odd, you guys. So I vividly remember the White House lawn, men and or women, whatever they were, taking nude photos on the White House. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Where were you the last 4 years? I missed you guys. I missed some of you. I don't know. Where was that analysis? Elon's never fighting Zuck. I told you, Zuck would have whooped his ass. Duolingo keeps going up, but I see it on the high. Okay, it's at 393, but I'm like, every time I see it, it doesn't move. Qubit on the low. AT&T now, too? Yeah, that's starting to dump. Brazil, we haven't done anything against U.S. We consider U.S. a partner. Verizon and AT&T, but AT&T is dropping a little bit harder. Is that Okta? I haven't looked at Cyber. Yeah, Okta's on the high, but still red. And then IWM's climbing. So in the midst of all this, Russell, remember what we saw last week, because if the equal weight, so look, if we start getting the SPY come down to equal weight, that'll just be the broadening out. Remember last week, you started the week off with a gigantic rotation. So we'll see if we get that again. For now, though, Russell is trying to advance, SPY, NASDAQ, all of that's matching up. A couple names on the high now. Now Net, TTD, again, Cyber plays. Those are all kind of catching a bid right now. Yeah, Uber got an upgrade, and Uber is has it hit 100? I don't think so. Yeah, so watch out, though. I think Uber above 100 might be fucking massive, actually. It reminds me of 75. Was it 75 or 60? Oh, Habibi. Let's see. EWW Mexico. Interesting. I haven't looked at the now Tesla. That has to be a tweet, right? Yo, Tesla on the high. The contract's already worked, but Tesla's starting to pop like it's getting news. And then JD and a couple more of the China plays, and then I see fertilizer and food. That's on the high there too. Covered calls are great. Just 20% minimum above what you paid for the stock, and make sure you're getting above the risk-free rate in cash. If you're not familiar with any of that, I just wouldn't do it. Well, there you have it. Tesla. New listing. Let's go, baby. Good work. Way to fucking hit the ground running, man. It's been less than a year, right? Or a little, like a year and a half now. It's crazy, bro. Good work. Boom. What day is it today? July? Okay, SPY still going down. Banks, GS at JP Morgan. Honestly, Tesla could just be inversing. 1 year exact. Yeah, bro. Good work. That's what I'm saying, bro. It did not feel long. You're doing very good, man. Keep it up. To many, many more, baby. Yalla. Email me. I want to take a look at it. I want to see what y'all got cooking up in South Carolina. Okay, Oxy and oil starting to come up. Portfolio up 15%. Thank you, Josh, for existing. I like it, man. Thank you for living it. I love it, man. Long term has been providing. Yalla, Habibi, yalla. I don't see anything on Tesla. That's why. But then I started noticing SPY and more big tech was going down. So maybe it's a rotation, but I have no idea what that was. And then Uber. I like Uber, but again, we already have a lot of different plays on there. Well, I guess long term. U.S. issues a Venezuela-related license authorizing offloading of liquefied petroleum. BL on the high. Couple of things. Honestly, high ticker's still making another push. SPY hasn't moved from here. SAP on the high. Remember, that made some moves, and their SAP's competing for the #1 richest company in Europe with NVO. I don't know. SPY's just staying pinned here near the low. Again, you're getting some back and forth between big caps, small caps. Russell, small caps are doing great, actually. They were down 1%, so they're recovering. NASDAQ kind of came back up, but relatively the same from the morning. Same with the SPY, and then the equal weight has gotten better in the last hour. And we've only been here for just under that, actually. So it's been like 40 minutes. So very early, Habibi. And then CyberNet is on the high. I mean, you could kind of qualify SAP in there, and then Oklo and a few others. Microsoft's coming down. Nvidia's near the low. Google was kind of pinned, then fell off. And then I think you have Meta. Amazon was green too. Now it's not. So yeah, you have a couple of things. Again, more names down than not. Brazil, we haven't done anything against the U.S. Pump faketh. Apple now flushing, so that's a little different. And then Baidu on the high, bro. Is there? Don't tell me we got some China deal. Yeah, Baidu's killing it, and Kweb. But Apple, a little bit of a wick here at the low. SPY's near the low. That'll get it going there. But eyes on for any China headlines. Because, again, you're watching Apple in America go down, and then I saw 2 or 3 China names. Even JD was leading that. I don't think we'll get news, but if we do, I mean, you're getting the movement is preceding it. Estee Lauder now? What is this? So again, more China shit. Shit related to China, China tech, consumer. They're all moving. Even America, China, consumer related ones. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything though. There might not be. HR on the high. STX again. Abbott now. Ethereum's on the low. ARM, Visa, gold is climbing, and then you already had about 80% red, so that's still going. Blah blah. Watch Apple in China. Apple. Boba. Yeah, gold is still climbing too. Okay, SPY going lower. I saw Ethereum going down, not about Bitcoin. I'm looking for China shit right now. I don't know. They're really outperforming. But then they started off red. So you have like Baidu up 5 and then Baba, they just gapped down. But then you have JD and then JD's like a mix of Baba and Baidu. Just right there in the middle. They started off weak, but then they outperformed. So we will say. But SPY is going lower. Now you got AMD on the low. So another set of chips. I mean, you had NVIDIA on the low earlier as well. So yeah, 62.48. You're now where you were, what, Thursday? So again, remember we had non-farms and then we had that move. But you were back to the opening of the non-farms essentially. Which is still a crazy level. Again, 62.50. That was our second level we kind of forecasted. And then you got as high as, what, 6,300 almost? So you might just move within 100 points. Watch below 6,200. And then even like, dude, 6,170, 6,130, 6,090. So, yeah, a lot of range, brother. A lot of range. But we are going down. K11 China looks good. There's another candle on Apple. Then you have AMD. Then all of the Asian names are holding up. You're getting random greens here and there or random stuff on the high ticker, but some of them are still red. There's DraftKings now too. So again, Flutter was moving earlier. I think, again, Baba is a wild card. I wish I could tell you which way it'll go. I just have no idea. I just think China is going to be... you hear nothing about them this summer, or they're going to underperform or outperform heavily. That's why it could go either direction. I can't even guess. But I just know it's important. Because like I'm saying, we've gone through a lot of different back and forth. Something will be a laggard, then it becomes a leader. China theme, China recovery, China trade. All of this stuff's important. So... it's just now they're either going to continue to lead or they're going to fall behind, or maybe we just burn some time. Lyft is popping. Again, you already had Uber going up as well. Is that Besant? Or is that
times it's a three-legged stool. It's trade, it's tax, and it's deregulation. So, I also believe that the substantial amount of deregulation that we're doing is going to accelerate economic growth. And the important thing, too, is we're going to have economic growth in a non-inflationary manner, unlike we saw in the previous 4 years.
Treasury Secretary Besant on Squawk this morning talking about why he thinks the Trump administration's policies will boost growth. Our next guest, though, says tariffs in particular could lead to less growth and possibly more inflation. Joining us this morning, Evercore ISI founder and senior chairman Roger Altman. Roger, happy Monday. Good to see you.
Hey, Carl. Nice to see you.
I'm going to guess that at least when it comes to tariffs, your view about the impact is maybe less benign than the Treasury Secretary's.
Well, why don't we step back for a second and then set the stage a little and then come to tariffs. So to me, there's a rather fascinating paradox around the markets right now, or at least around equities. At one level, there's signs of a perceptible slowing in the U.S. economy. Take growth forecasts themselves. At the beginning of the year, New Year's, consensus expectation for the U.S. was 2 to 2.5%. It's currently 1% or a little less. Our own forecast is 0.9%. So quite a change in the 2025 outlook. And you see some weakness in private sector.
Follow me on Instagram at
growth, you see interest rates a little lower
News on
than you would
Twitter.
expect in a strong
Good
economy.
morning.
You see oil prices weaker. You have that backdrop. At another level, stocks want to go up. You have the AI revolution. You have inflation moderating. You have Trump on a roll, and so forth. And the $64 billion question is, which of these two frameworks is going to prevail? Now, on tariffs themselves, I just think there's a basic reality about tariffs. Your previous guest was talking about who pays them. In the long run, consumers pay them. I think there's just overwhelming evidence to that effect. Yes, short run, you could have some of the retailers or some of the retailers, for example, swallowing part of them, but in the medium and long run, consumers pay them. They raise prices, therefore they reduce consumption, therefore they reduce production, therefore they reduce growth. That is what tariffs do. And it looks as though, although there's so much noise around all this, that when all the dust settles, we're going to end up with about a 15 to 20% weighted average tariff, which is up from 3% when President Trump took office. That is not a positive for growth. It's just basic.
So to use your term, why do you think the market then wants to run up?
Well, you have an important segment of investors who are huge believers in the AI revolution, and that it's going to be the equivalent of the Industrial Revolution. They may be right, and they see that as enormously bullish for productivity and really transformational, and that it transcends the short-term questions of tariffs or other matters. There's that point of view. And then there are those who think that the tariffs just aren't going to be that consequential. Even if they are at 15 to 20%, they're going to reduce economic results very modestly, and they're not going to end up being a big factor. I don't happen to agree with that, but that's another view. And then there's just a lot of bullishness around, including that the president, and I have to give him credit, has had a series of recent successes. The NATO defense budget commitments, the Iran conflict, obviously he just passed his most important legislative priority, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and so forth. So there are just two strong points of view here, different colliding points of view, and it'll take a while to see which one prevails, at least in terms of equities.
And a lot of it does come down to the big variable of growth. I know you've been studying the impact of the recent tax and spending plan on the U.S. deficit. We have a big project that came out today looking at what it all means, what the consequences are of a deficit that ultimately gets out of control. And we'll discuss that more in detail later in the show. But I'm just curious, from your perspective, what do you think the likelihood is, as the White House has been saying, that GDP will essentially solve any deficit issues we have, that by extending the 2017 tax cuts and spurring growth, that, you know, the debt picture will basically be non-existent?
I don't think that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act will have any impact on growth in terms of improving it. We're already at full employment, so there's not a lot of inherent upside from the point of view of short-term, medium-term, and economic growth. And overall, the fiscal impacts of the bill are dreadful, and that's probably an understatement. I mean, look at it. We have, in round numbers, a $2 trillion current fiscal deficit. And we have that at a time of overall solid U.S. economic conditions. This bill expands the deficit by about 50% over the medium term.
Kind of sounds like
that is not good. It also adds $3.5 trillion to the national debt over 10 years, That is not good.
Thank you. Welcome,
And at
Andrew.
some point, and I'm not nearly smart enough to know when, there's going to be a reckoning over all this. Maybe it occurs during President Trump's term, maybe it doesn't. But I don't see this bill improving growth, and I don't think most economists see that. Most economic forecasts around the bill
on the high,
do not
kind of running 105 to
incorporate
106.70.
meaningfully higher growth. And by the way, the Tax Cut and Jobs Act of 2017 added very little to growth. And this is modeled after that, although it's a bigger bill. So I don't see the argument that this is going to that growth is going to skyrocket on account of this bill, and therefore our fiscal problems will be solved. I think it's quite the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, the market in its sort of short-sighted version is saying, okay, well, at least there's no fiscal payback that we're going to have to deal with initially. We're still running 6+% of GDP deficits, Roger. The deregulation piece, I think, always makes sense to try and focus in on in terms of what it could mean. It seems this catch-all, this kind of general kind of fairy dust you sprinkle across the economy, and businesses feel better. They have less to worry about in terms of compliance and regulation, things like that.
I looked for
How do you think it manifests itself in the real economy?
I think there have been periods when deregulation did improve economic performance. I'm just not sure whether that's going to be the case now. For example, there's so much talk about energy deregulation.
It's in the middle of like round 2 of bankruptcy.
But the U.S. is already the world's biggest oil and gas producer. And it's a little hard for me to see how we can expand that much beyond the pre-existing growth trajectory as a result of deregulation, but maybe I'm wrong. So it's hard to tell. I would doubt that this is going to be a big contributor to economic performance, but I'd like to be wrong on that. Maybe it will be.
Yeah, some big unanswerables at the moment, Roger, that's for sure, in these early days of as Congress now gets to work trying to codify some of this stuff. We'll talk soon, I hope. Roger Altman, thanks so much.
We'll talk soon, I hope. All right, SPY kind of coming back. You're getting back to VWAP. We had like, what, 20 minutes kind of selling there. No real news. Just, again, a lot of back and forth. Amazon. All right, that looked way bigger. That's what I hate. All these like single stocks, they have like 5 different tickers. So when it hits a new high, it looks like it's printing, but it's just a big cap hitting a high. But yeah, Amazon's starting to move up. We did come back up here. There's a couple of industries. I mean, about 3/4 of the market is red, so that includes the gap down and everything else. So we will see what this guy's comments were during 9%. It wasn't 9% interest. It was just 9% inflation. And then ironically, the Fed wanted to keep rates low. Remember, the Fed didn't start raising rates till like a year, till like what, 2022? Or yeah, I think so, give or take, or like middle of 2021. Then he came in at the beginning. Pinterest on the high, then oil again. Like I said, oil's been climbing all day. It's not like high, but it is. It's odd. Because again, you know, you take a couple days of oil like this, then we're back at 70s. Remember, anything above high 70s, we start freaking out. But then again, you don't have the same pressure you did at the beginning of the month with the war and all of that. And the Iran. I mean, equal weight is there is one actually. I forgot the ticker name, but there is a S&P that excludes the Mag 7. People have created it, but there is equal weight is the best shot. But then equal weight technically includes them all, but just gives them equal weighting. I saw Dollar General that was coming up there on the little bounce off the bottom. LMT, I don't know if it is off of the BBB. I would assume so, but like I said, it's either, I don't know if the defensives, if they front ran too much or not, but I do think there will be some juice following the passage. You broke your neck this weekend? Were you in Southern California? Dude, I was driving it a lot. I think I drove 500 miles. 550 in like 4 or 5 days. I was driving 100 miles a day, bro. I don't even know why. I was just going everywhere, bro. And I would stop. I would chill. My favorite thing, bro, is going to the bathroom. You know that? Bro, I would fill up gas and I would go pee while I was filling up gas. Oh, dude, it was great. Every time I'd like go somewhere, I'd leave my parents' crib, I would get to, well, they had a bathroom, so I don't know why. But, oh, yeah, that was it. Coolest thing I saw, just probably the ocean while playing 2K. I played 2K. I played a game of 2K on the beach. It made me happy. You know that? I was living life, bro. I was just on the sand playing 2K. So thank you, Elon, and thank you, the van. It worked. It's productivity in many facets. You know, they're doing revenue generation and energy and a lot of stuff, but and then AI, but I don't know. We got to see how it actually manifests, because it's a big bet. Again, government spending, that is something I will always be worried about in terms of impact on the monetary system. I don't know if I'm ready to buy. I could see it though. I see the appeal now. I get why people buy RVs, but I don't really travel that much, but I kind of want one. I like it. I see the appeal. I see the appeal for sure. Oh yeah, bro. There was a lot of Bible verses too. That's what, dude, I was chilling. I'm telling you, it was very. And then America, bro, I don't know. I think this was one of the best 4th of Julys I have had in decades. In a decade, at least. It felt so American. I don't know. Even my mom, bro. Even my mom was tripping out. My mom was like, it feel like, I don't know. It was nice, bro. It was nice. It felt very America. I felt very patriotic. I was loving it, man. Happy 4th of July, bro. It was a good one. DG again in Kroger. Well, dude, we didn't. Yeah, there was barely any fireworks. You know what they had in San Diego? They started, this was the first year that they did it. They did drone shows. So I've never seen a drone show in real life, and I finally got to watch one. It was pretty cool, but I did want more explosions. I was hoping for some. I saw a couple fireworks, but I guess we're entering the era of drone shows. Yeah. All right, a couple of other things dropping. I see mainly chips, and then Hilton or Hyatt. They were on the high earlier, so a couple of names are doing good. Or they got a bid, like the chips. They were already at the low, then they got a bid. Now that's fading. And then Google. Oh yeah, dude, didn't you have like 2 races? Nothing more American than cutting grass. I just bummed it out at the beach, bro. And just everybody, there was a lot of people there. They were all grilling and cooking, and it was nice. It was calm. I don't know, bro. For that many people, it was like nobody was like drunk, and it was weird, bro. It was too calm. It was peaceful. Oh, dude, I loved it. It was America. Woo! That's why my mom was like, it actually feels like a holiday. She said that was very new. MBio, that one's up like 400%. And then Google on the low. Why can't I type? Iranian President Pezeshkian says Supreme Leader believes U.S. investors can come to Iran. Oh, wow. TSCO got moved in the new place in Charlotte. Oh, let's go, baby. How was it, man? Did you spend the weekend moving? And dude, Charlotte, North Carolina's still popping. I know the real estate stuff, and everybody's been moving there. All right, man, you're still at the low. I can't see what it is, though. I think it's just Google and Amazon. But Amazon went up earlier. Google is flushing. Gold is climbing. Capital One on the low. Dollar is still staying pinned. And okay, low ticker is getting more active. I haven't looked at the China names yet. They're still holding. BABA went down, but then by doing the other ones, they're still kind of up. They chilled a little bit. And then Uber's still climbing. And then SPY near the first low you hit about like 10-15 minutes ago. Did we fill the gap? I think so. Well, you're filled like where you open, but technically you got another 22 points to hit the close. But yeah, you're right where we opened up on Thursday. Remember, Thursday was a day-to-day. We had a couple of things going on with the non-farms. Dude, I can't even believe the non-farms was strong on Friday or Thursday. That was another one too. Physical silver, I mean, in general, I just think, you know, last time you saw silver at these prices, the world was terrible. So I think it's fascinating. We talked about silver on the first move. I have a play on it, but physical, I mean, I'm not going out of my way to buy it, but I do own my old ones. Where is it? Let me get my... I need to find... Oh, it's under my keyboard. I have silver under my keyboard. And then Wolf again, but like I said, be careful on that one. But yeah, I'm not actively seeking out to buy silver, but I still own a lot of it. I like silver. I think some people, the tinfoil that's going around, there's tinfoil that says, we read it in the morning actually. I think it's tin, but there's people saying that China is buying all of the metals to pretty much like pressure America. So there's a tinfoil that China's buying nickel and copper in mass, maybe even silver and gold, and they're trying to kind of add pressure on the rare earth negotiations. So maybe that's it, but other than that, I mean, silver could be affected and related to the dollar and some other things, but like I said, I mean, there's just not too many times it's above here. Oil is ripping again. That's another high. I think since the morning, it's just been slowly climbing. The bill would have been super bullish. It is to a degree, and then the bearish part is we don't know the consequences, but you got to think about it. There is this is what we dealt with at the beginning of the year. You know, we get excitement, people front run it, and then they run it up too much. So like, look at defense and some other things. Like, we thought we were just playing the tariff day recovery, but it was also pricing in some of this stuff too. So I think we're in that market of sell the rips, and there will be some front runs, but then again, in waves, like, I think go look at the defense stocks. It kind of shows you what I'm talking about, because even though it has been front run, it would go in these waves and it would still climb, but then it front ran too much, it will pull back, climb again, and then do that, just a slow advance after like really the first boom with everyone getting excited. But yeah, I do think you'll get some of that. Yeah, platinum, we brought that up on the watch list the other day. Crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Doom. I did not tell you what beach I camped at, no. Hood on the high again. Hood is actually starting to move. 3 candles. That one's below 100 too. So again, sometimes when things hit above 100, that psychological level causes a small little break. It all just depends. Okay, SPY still on the low. Oil is rocketing up, bro. What is this? Yeah, oil, it's only up 1%, but I feel like it's all day. From last night, it was in the low 60s. I haven't looked at the long term. I'm still waiting. I think I get the final numbers today, but we still have a delay. Symbiotic, SYM. I feel like we saw something on SYM. Then there's Robinhood. Like I said, that's starting to wake up. Robinhood and Uber are right below the 100. And then SPY trying to go. Bond's been down all day. Who's the other one? Fortinet. And then Cyber, they were pretty active. Fortinet's still holding up. That had option activity. Microsoft came back. I think if you get Google back up, a little bit of Amazon, and then Meta's just staying up, that one's going to hold. And then Apple. If you could get like a Meta or Microsoft, Google, or Apple, one of those, or NVIDIA, and then mix that in. But it has been officially over an hour here now, about 8 minutes. Dow Jones, only 4 names in the green on the Dow. Okay, there's Uber. Yikes. And then NASDAQ, 28 names green, the rest are red. And then SPY, 150 green, 350 red. Yeah, that's what people were thinking, because OPEC did, and they like confirmed a supply increase. So OPEC should have been down today, or OPEC oil, but then it just started rocketing up. So I don't know what it could be with maybe demand or, again, the front run. There has been a lot of front running. So that's why I was thinking about it this morning, and I was saying just we got to be very humble, because remember, this is what happened at the beginning of the year, right when everybody got confident in growth, right when everybody got confident in everything, it ran too much, and then that had a lot of front running, that had a lot of, wait, I thought this, I thought that. So just head on a swivel. Remember, beginning of the year, certainty is the killer. So I do think there's a path of least resistance, but when it's all said and done, I mean, right when we think something should happen, I think that's when it's going to stop. And maybe oil is one of those. So, but just be humble, a little bit of humility. But theoretically, I would assume oil would be down. But now we're starting to see these little clues of patience, and then it pulls apart, and then, yeah, there it is. You heard a terrorist attack in the Red Sea. I heard some Houthi stuff earlier and Yemen stuff, but I don't know if that was enough to drive all of this. And then there's Uber again. Uber. Yalla, ya Uber. I ran on the high. Neon too. I remember what was that? Remember Neon and the whole like you need the neon odoid or whatever? Everyone went hype on that one. Cart, no, I'm only playing the Uber like $100 breakout. That's why I mentioned Robinhood, because Robinhood's also at $100. U.S. authorizes offloading of Venezuela. Ellen, that's old. Watch DoorDash too if you want. That could be similar, but again, Uber is just getting a bunch of upgrades, and now it's at like a very big psychological level. I mean, $100 Uber is huge. You know, our last pickup on that thing was $24. So I think a lot of people, they've waited for 100. If you're gonna buy a rental, do you put down 10% or 15 or 20? I prefer low money down, just because I can use my money pretty effectively. But then again, with high interest nowadays, sometimes it makes more sense to just put more money down. But my preference is towards low money. But then again, it'll boil down to the property, what the property's worth, and what they are willing to give you. And then also your other, loan holdings and properties. So if it's your first property, second, third, that will also change that. And you'll get limited options. So like now, I wish I could get more lower down payments, but I have a lot of properties. So people are, they're not really willing to give you low down payments after you've acquired one or two of them. And then DoorDash is actually up. And then ANET, I don't know if that ties into Fortinet, but again, Cyber. And then there's Lyft, and then first little green candle in about 10 minutes. VSCO on the high. Found this. Oh, Saudi? That's interesting. Because you guys, someone else was talking about that, but no, maybe it's just China demand. So that could be a reason. If we get a China deal and you notice all these China plays keep ripping and China does very well, and oil, you might just be getting good news out of China. That's what that could be leading into. So we'll see. Just a theory, just a guess. Spitball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, right now it's hard. I mean, back in the day, it used to, or if you get a good deal, it's easy to cash flow. But I've been saying this for over a year now. It's hard to cash flow. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very hard to cash flow when rates are at like 7%. You know, this isn't an easy. You can't just borrow at 8-9% and then just start making money. So that's what you got to be careful of. We do have people in Chicago, yes. Uber! That one's nuts. I'm glad though, man, because Uber is one of our biggest. I think Uber is the biggest in the long term, no? It might be at this point. No, Abivai. Still, or MO. But it's up there. Now we have more Uber than JP. We're up 200% on Uber in the long term. That's crazy. That's on pure equity. So add that to the list, but he's going to be going soon. DQ. Pinned to more China. So maybe if oil keeps going up, maybe I think it mad early. I like that theory though. You might get China, positive China headlines here very, very shortly. Not like today, but maybe this week. Maybe that's one of our developments with the reciprocals. Roblo's killing it. I don't know. And everyone's hella quiet about that one. Remember, we had a video about that at 20 or 40. I had somebody who used to make fun of me for buying it, but I haven't seen him in a long time. Weird. But yeah, Roblo has done good, but I don't think they went like too crazy. It's not like the numbers were that much different than a couple years ago, but I think it just didn't fail. And then still growing, sustained. XYZ, block on the high. I don't know. Uber could be benefiting off of the Tesla and like the bad news, but then again, they got the Waymo contract, and then Uber's delivery car. They're taking market share from Lyft. Uber is just doing very good. You know, they spend a lot of money, and that was the real problem in the beginning, and they still do. But generally, they've done a lot of good things, man. People did make fun of us for Uber as well too. I remember Roblo got me a lot of shit, but they turned into crickets. But yeah, Uber was a bad one at one point. But that's what I was saying. My last purchase was $24. That's how bad it was. So, well, I guess not now. But that's still climbing. There's some good ones too, even if you got those option plays I talked about. So not bad. Oh yeah, well Joby, remember we tried to. You guys want to try to call them again? I think they're closed. Or no, was it Joby or Archer? One of them. Remember I tried to call him? Pony. That was the one. Pony AI. Bill Ackman. Well, Bill Ackman, we bought Netflix right before he did, and then he bought it, and then it sold off, and then he sold off the second time we bought. So don't always follow the big guys. You know, just buy the names you know about. I'm telling you, Uber, Netflix, those are some of our big gainers. None of you could tell me you've never used those products. I think everybody in here has used the rideshare at this point, and every single person knows what Netflix is. So remember, like real commercial popular success, that helps with the long term. You know what I'm saying? Most of the good names that provide, you like really know about and are involved in your life. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like Uber, Netflix, I mean, again, I hate Robinhood, but that one would fit that criteria if they weren't so shady. But yeah, like things you know and use. That's always a good indicator. So even if I don't like the name, that is still an indicator you could follow, and that's where you take your own risk. Next Squid Game will be USA based. I saw that at the end of the other one. They were like teasing it. Coin's been popping all day. Now you got Pinterest as well. SPY still near the low. Like I told you, the breakdown earlier, volumes kind of average from the last couple days. It is summer, like fully. But yeah, here we are. Affirm on the high. And then wheat. SMMT. Oh, did they get bought out yet? Yeah, remember we had that and we were playing that news the other day. Trump comments, I will be watching for the witch hunt of Jair Bolsonaro and his family and thousands of his supporters very closely. The only trial that's happening is a trial by the voters. It's called an election. Leave Bolsonaro alone. Truth Social. I've gotten to know Jair Bolsonaro. Brazil is doing a terrible thing on treatment of Bolsonaro. So yeah. Yeah, he's just talking about Brazil. Brazil. Enovix. That thing's up 15. I've called that a couple times. I didn't realize it was up that much. Then Zscaler. Where are the casinos? They're still doing good, actually. No shit. I really like Pepsi, man. So, we'll see. I could still buy it in the small account. And then I would be making, I don't know though. Pepsi it only hit one new price. But I'm hoping by the time we like get the property and do some other stuff, I'm hoping for new prices to make moves. But that is one that I've been looking at. Again, who else? UPS, Target. But some did move that last week on Monday. Some of them got really excited. South African President Ramaphosa, BRICS does not seek to compete with any other power. Wasn't 3M on the high? I don't know. ARM was one of the first ones to drop off. I'm surprised because Friday or Thursday we had positive news on the chip designers and like deregulation, but yeah, I have no idea. Oh yeah, I like Nike, but Nike got up too much. I mean, Lulu, hey man, if Lulu gets cheap enough, if Lulu gets to a new price before Nike, I mean, shit, I could consider it. But then again though, I haven't like, dude, I've seen more like girls wearing aloe. Like they just, I don't know, man. I don't know if Lulu, it's funny because I have heard everybody be vocal about Nike dying, right? Let's be real. Everybody and their mother has told you about Nike falling off. Okay, what about Lulu, bro? Like, there's a lot of competition. There's more than just one yoga pants now. Like I'm saying, and then it's expensive as fuck. Lulu has never been cheap. So I like the company. I like it. Believe me, I've always told you, it compares to Nike fundamentally, just smaller. I know the price is up there, but yeah, it's I see aloe everywhere now. I told you about aloe. I told you even what my girl said about it. But yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Lulu will give him a couple of quarters because yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they have a couple more bad quarters, I think people are going to start talking about this. I know it's a favorite. Lulu took over the world at one point, but I don't know, man. I'm not. It's like I haven't seen. People are talking about the waves and changes and brands and trends and even weights and health. So I don't know where. Yeah, even I've seen some Vioris. I got Viore stuff. My girl's buying everything but Lulu. I use my girl as an indicator. She's doing everything but Lulu. And just like how my girl has Nikes, you know that? My girl got a pair of Nike tights, like the Nike spandex. I like those. Those are good. I think the ladies, that has been a trend for them. Nike's getting in the Lulu game pretty much. But yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. But if it gets cheap enough, I have Lulu on my target. I just think they might run into a headwind, bro. I think they might. Because think about it now. Lulu is at this price without Wall Street and the general public turning on him. You get what I'm saying? Just remember, right when motherfuckers turned on Netflix and Nike, that was another 50%. You guys remember? It was already, this is where we bought it, and then they're like, no, Netflix is gonna fail. Same thing happened with Nike too, right? You start doing bad, and then the public turns on you. You get what I'm saying? This was Trump, really, but this was the public turning on you. And everyone's like, yeah, it's dead. It's over. But like I'm saying, I mean, what happens to Lulu if that occurs? So if Lulu turns it around, great. But if they fuck up and then we start talking about the dying trend of yoga pants or them, then it's going down to the hundreds, bro. So I like it though. And we've talked about it compared to Nike, but Nike's picked up faster than Lulu is what I'm trying to tell you. Nike has a little bit more than it's picked up a little bit more than Lulu has in last 6-7 months. I don't know if I think Lulu needs cheap products. I think they need a high quality cheap yoga pant. But then again, doesn't that kind of destroy the brand? I don't know. Like, they've never offered anything cheap. That's why, like, at one point it was kind of a flex. You got a little dumperoonie. We chilled here for 15 minutes and then flushed. Again, you only got about 15 names, maybe 20 to 50 that are in the green. Well, Nike has made a comeback in everything but running. So they need to get back to running. That's where they, remember at one point they were 40 to 60% of that market. But they've done good in basketball recently. Apparel got to pick up. Women's apparel and Nike is doing good. Like I'm telling you, I've seen my girl do it, but what I'm telling you reflects fundamentally. Women's apparel and Nike has gotten a little bit better. So I think that's a bright spot. Google, I don't like that, man. I think Google, NVIDIA, and then Microsoft are adding the drag. Yeah, Sambas are really popular. Very. I think with the girls, too. Sambas, Adidas Sambas are selling out no matter what. Like the rare colors. But yeah, Sambas are very popular right now. All right, SPY again. I think Google and Microsoft are feeding this one. Again, we got a couple of headlines earlier, but nothing to move it. VOT. All right, still going down. Dollar is up today. It hasn't moved on the way down. Bitcoin, honestly, not much. I think oil move is weird, and equal weight is down. So now SPY, it's still been about 0.2, 0.3, a little bit worse than equal weight, but that's everything. 20 points to fill the gap, so we got some time. Oh, McDonald's on the high. Hey, yo, what's McDonald's doing? Check MCD. McDonald's MCD. I'm checking news. Everybody in the MCD, put your mother hands up and follow me. Yo, nobody stand tough. Notice that this McChicken is still not up. This inflation stuff got you gassed up. Now, who's afraid of the big bag, Ronald? 1, 2, 3 into the 4. $1 McChicken, $2 McChicken, $3 McChicken, $4 McChicken, $5 McChicken, $6 McChicken. We gonna charge you more. Oh, sorry. I don't see anything. Okay, MRK now, Merck. That's a long-term candidate too, you guys. I told you guys about Merck, right? I like Pfizer. I just won't buy Pfizer till next year. Pfizer is going to be fired next year or whenever Pfizer brings back their buyback. But other than that, Merck is like the high-quality healthcare one. It's still up there. It could go down, but yeah, Merck is there. You need them tendies? What, are you stuck in 2020? I haven't heard that since 2020, brother. What's wrong with you? This guy, do you still think GameStop is squeezing? I mean, a lot of people think that still, but I haven't heard tendies in a while, bro. Man, that's crazy. This guy walking around, he probably still 6 feet apart, huh? You be wearing that mask? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the tendies will arrive in due time, but get a long term. We've been killing it. Yeah, I haven't heard tendies in a while, bro. That was kind of stressed me out. It's like, what? Lockdowns? What? Huh? No. Yemen's Houthi says Magic Sea's vessel has sunk. Yeah, so the Houthis sunk something. And then Russia data shows crude output stayed below OPEC target in June. Oh, the I Love Boobies bracelet. Dude, that was terrible. You know that? I would think I was in like the 3rd grade. And I'd try to explain it to my mom that everybody in school was wearing shirts that said I love boobies. And I know it was for breast cancer and it was supposed to support breast cancer, but try explaining that to my Middle Eastern mother at the time who didn't really know much English, and her child is going around yelling I love boobies. I learned that at a young age. So yeah, I got my ass whooped. I was like, no mom, I'm supporting breast cancer. And she didn't understand. Okay, so yeah, that I love boobies caused a lot of strife in my household growing up. I'm still remembering GME, or you're still holding GME if you remember me. I do remember you. You have a sizable position, and you emailed me, and we thought we were fucking around, and then you actually had it. But yes, I do remember. And today you learned Josh has an impeccable memory. So don't forget, read the rules. Thank you. My girl asked you to buy Labubu? No, my girl has discernment. She knows that's a demon doll. That shit ain't going in my house, her house. I won't even let that in my car, her car. What do you mean, bro? You ain't seen that Labubu demon? I ain't getting no Labubu demon, bro. Even my little niece don't want a Labubu. Even my niece was like, nah, that's creepy. And she's like 3. And yeah, I'm like, nah, bro. Man, no Labubu. You better the long term. How about the long term doll? Get your child a long term. You know that? You could get your child a long term and it grows with them as they grow older. It's from ages 1 to 18, a long term doll. Oh, dude, and then it gets them a house. It turns into a doll house, a long term. Oh man, it's amazing. Starts with 10% for your child today. Any amount, $5, $10 a month, bro. You would be surprised. Do not despise the days of small beginnings. Oh, did I not post it? Oh, I need to post it. Hold on, I'm gonna post this. Can I rant, you guys? Can I rant? Would you guys like a rant today? I haven't ranted on you, have I? Any rants today I've given you were financial. I could stand by that. I feel like every rant besides the 4th of July one was financial. I've been ranting on bills and everything, bro. I have a non-financial rant though. I would love to give. You know, oh, are you ready? TW on the high. And Grab. I know they had some activity earlier last week. I forgot to post it. I put it in my drafts. I had a busy weekend, man. It was like a busy relax. I didn't look at my phone. I was just chilling. But yeah, I posted it, bro. Nah, I want to say God bless you. And praise God above all else, man. Okay? But here's the deal. Go look. I posted it on Twitter, and then Microsoft introducing Azure Accelerate. That could be good. That's related to cloud. See if they get a bid. Otherwise, watch if any cloud person goes down on sympathy. Okay, but here's the deal. Chat, some of you, I'm very proud, but this is what I want to talk about. Because it's happened twice. Only 2 times in the last couple of months here. But one of you guys, one of your fiancés reached out to me. And they sent me an email. I posted it on Twitter just right now. And bro, they were just saying thank you. And one of your guys' fiancés was just saying how they listen to the philo and all of this. And they're like, man, my fiancé is focused. He's doing this. He's being a better man. All of these good things, bro. And I was so happy, bro. I was so overjoyed. And I posted it on Twitter, man, because I hope you guys realize that. Like, that is what I love to see. And I hope that those of you who spend time here, a lot of time, and you hear the long term in the philo, bro, it should have a positive effect on you that people would notice. You see what I'm saying? Because like I've gotten the opposite, bro. I've had a lot of people where they've listened to me nonstop, but they're really angry. Or they would go home and they would gamble and they weren't really listening, and like it wouldn't reflect well. You know what I'm saying? I had some of you guys, your significant others hate me, and I don't think it's because of what we do here. But like, you know, it reflects back though, and it doesn't matter what you do or I do. It does reflect on how we use our time here. And that's why I'm like, bro, it's just I love that. I don't know, man. You guys, your wives, your fiance, your husbands, your kids, they should notice a good change. You see what I'm saying? People should notice the hunger, the desire, the spark. They should notice the fruit, bro. So I don't know, man. Those of you who are really being a beacon to the point where I have people reaching out to me. Do you get what I'm saying? That's amazing, bro. I have other people close to you are reaching out to me privately because of how you are reflecting. So keep it up, all right, man? And I would love to see more of it, bro. And that, I don't know, bro. I was already chilling, bro, but I went into my weekend with that, man, and I was grateful, bro, and I was praying for all of you, and that's the goal. That's the mission, bro. I have some good positive changes, and it should reflect, bro. So keep it up, man, and keep going, and let's make it real. Let's get some fruit cheddar. Amen, bro. Amen. That's all I'm saying, bro. You know, you spend enough time here, bro. I'm just saying people should notice it. And if you're spending this much time and people notice a bad thing in you, I would ask you to reevaluate. But no matter what, we're in this together, because whatever you do, it does reflect back on me. So I hope it's good. Let's go for good, baby. Amen, bro. Praise God. Oh, yeah. And then Spy's still going. The Spy did not like the rant still. No. Palantir again, Mr. Perez. Welcome, baby. Good morning and happy Monday. Yeah, Palant, it's so weird. There's literally like 30 names maybe that are green all throughout. We've gone through the checkup. Where's McDonald's too? That one didn't really have follow through. I looked for headlines. It's still up, but nothing. And Uber's still good. Robinhood, Palantir. Tesla's coming back down. Dude, those Tesla puts, oh man. They were cheap. They still are cheap. K&W, isn't that the Bitcoin one? No, I'm tripping. And then Ethereum on the low again as well. That's a good fruit. Amen, bro. Amen. I was so happy, bro. You have no idea. I've been vibing. But I love it, bro. Because I pray for y'all, man. So, you know, I always rejoice. And, you know, I got a good memory, right? So, I don't know. I like it when prayers get answered. I always say thank you. You know that every time. And I hope you do too, bro. If you've had a prayer answered recently, I hope you can recognize it. So, amen, bro. Amen. it feels quiet because last week was really quiet, and then there was the holiday, but not much development. We are in anticipation mode. I don't think this week has a lot of data, but this is still a big week in terms of, again, anticipation of trade deals, tariff rates, what we're going to hear on reciprocals, and then it is summer, but I do think you'll still get a little bit more activity. But if it doesn't, revert back to summer is always slow. Oh. Active shooter at Rio Grande Border Patrol Annex? Jeez. Alright, that's not good. SMH was leading. Yeah, it could. Today's like a weird rotation, but remember the Monday, Tuesday last week, bro, it was fire rotation. It was huge, and it was clear. It was obvious. It was kind of odd at first. Remember calling out the equal weight, and we figured it out, but ever since then, we haven't seen it. So it was like 2 days rotation, and then went back to Mag 7. Even today, it's like kind of reverse rotating, but everything is broadly down. It's not broadly one side down, one side up. There's a couple of winners, but not like in a rotation sense. So keep your eye out for that, though. I think that rotation, even how it ties into the tax bill, the spending, I think it's going to be very important, but we just got to be patient. Maybe that's the summer effect, but definitely I'm looking for that. And I think whatever I saw last week was fascinating, because we opened up the month with a bang, but if that goes or disappears, that will definitely cause a lot of moves. So eyes out for that, my friend. A bit of a slow burn. I don't know, it's just slow. Today feels slow, and it is slow. We've only been here for what? In an hour and a half, right? 20 minutes, not even Euro close. So it feels slow, but I just think the day's moving slow. It's only been 2 hours. You just got your holiday. I felt like last week was like a week off. I don't know, bro, because I didn't do the watch list. The market was slow, and then I was picking up a RV by Wednesday. I felt like I had a week off, bro. And I'm sure some people are still on vacation, but it just feels slower. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's back into the swing of things, but either way, you know what to look for. My only thing I'm worried about is, like I said for a couple weeks now, you know what to look for. You know what to look for. You know what's going to happen. Just let me remind you, humility and humble. So anything could happen now, and anything could change right as we're certain. But other than that, it's still the same setup as last week. We are certain about the bill. I don't think we're uncertain about tariffs. I think tariffs will cause headlines and cause moves, but as I've reminded many of you guys throughout beginning of the year, even today I said this, and I have no problem repeating it, because I do hope you guys understand this. I think this is going to help you and help understand the market and look at how far we've came and how we're holding up. This was part of it. But tariffs, I don't think it matters unless it's China or the EU. Anything else, that's it. But it's very, very minimal. China and EU, those are the ones that could really cause uncertainty. Those are the things that could really cause, okay, wait, we got to change plans. Wait, maybe inflation, maybe growth. A lot of things could get disrupted there. But anywhere else, I wouldn't really worry about it. And then now we get into the rate cut policy and just really, in a weird way, because like I told you, then they might move the theme towards growth. That's what it's going to really be about. You know tariffs, and trade and taxes, and all these other stuff we've been tracking and what to follow. You know what the main topics are. But now that we've got the bill, now that we're moving forward, now that we're almost done with a year, literally, we're closer to ending the year than starting and then beginning it. Think about it. The next narrative is going to be growth. It's going to be growth or data and how it reflects. Right now, the last 7 months, we've been anticipating, we've been guessing, we've been freaking out, we've been trying to figure things out about the future. And now we're getting a couple changes. I think the next 6 months, it's going to be about how that materializes. And now that gap between hard data and soft data, or do we watch the economy pick up? Do we watch GDP go up or down? Does it crater? Does the jobs market have real weakness? What happens to real estate prices? This could all be a result of the bill and many other things. And now you got to be patient, and it's going to be slow, but we're slowly crawling into that. And before you know it, that's going to be the thing that drives you up 5-10% now. It's not going to be tariffs. It's not going to be this stuff you were already exposed to. Before you know it, our runway's changing. It's running out, and now, we're taking off into another narrative. And now it's going to not be about, oh, what do you anticipate? It's going to be about what is happening. What is the data? Are we in contraction? Are we expanding? Are we growing? Is the dollar weak? Is the dollar strong? Are the yields high? Are the yields low? And then that right there will form our next set of movements. So I know that's a lot to take in. I will be here to remind you all, but if you can follow along, I think that's a good way to look at everything. And that's why I'm saying, above all else, though, China, EU, those are the only tariffs that matter. I don't think the market's worried about it. Not yet, and maybe they can be. And like I said on the watch list, I'm already forecasting this. I'm expecting in the next couple days one set of bad China news, and people are like, oh, the deal's not good. Oh my God. They're delaying. And then I think we're going to get one good set of China news. And then we're done. And then we see where it's all at. Once the market gets a couple of days of figuring out and saying, okay, it's this, it's that, then we're going to move on to the next one. Powell rate hold is inflicting serious damage. July is a big vacation. It's summer, bro. Summer. Maybe I'll go get an RV and take another vacation. Honestly, bro, fuck a vacation. I'm so glad to be back. I missed you guys. It was nice in the morning, bro. I was like, oh, every time there's a holiday and I say good morning, bro. I'm like, it's good to be back, bro. It's good to be back. That I just sit there quietly on the weekends. I was on the beach all quiet and shit, bro. Fuck that. I know. That's it. GE signed a long-term deal with China Airlines to maintain and repair GE engines for the Boeing planes. Oh, I saw that. Did it move? No. You can't, get it while driving. That's what sucks. Because the Starlink has to be outside. So you have to, park and put the Starlink outside of the vehicle. AVTR activist note. Avanet activist. It's not moving. Jeez. Yeah, I had a pop and drop. I think if you tape it to the roof, it'll work, but then it could fly away. Oh yeah, the speed was good. You could play 2K. I could stream everything. I streamed from it. I had to stop and park, but I did that stream on Thursday or whatever. You could put it on the roof. They have a holder. Oh, no way. All right, maybe. Maybe I was underprepared. Again, AVTR, the thing hasn't moved, but... And then you have Powell and Navarro comments, or Navarro making comments about Powell. Navarro calls for Fed to intervene against Powell's stance. Where is he speaking? Is he on Fox Business? That's usually where we see him. Oh, they're giving an update on the Texas thing right now. That was so sad. How the fuck did that even happen, dude? Yeah, this is live right now on Texas.
I will give an example. Houston's my hometown. You live on the Gulf Coast, we get hurricanes. That's part of living
follow me on Instagram after Trading Fraternity. Real Call News on Twitter. Spy near the low again. AVTR activist. Now you got UNG in oil.
And so you look here. We know the National Weather Service put out
BRB.
An emergency warning just after 1 a.m. and a second emergency warning just after 4 a.m. Now, obviously, most people at 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. are asleep. And so I think we will have a reasonable conversation about, A, are there any ways to have earlier detection? And some of that, the limits of a flash flood, they're very difficult because they can arise so quickly. But everyone would agree in hindsight, if we could go back and do it again, we would evacuate particularly those in the most vulnerable areas, the young children in the cabins closest to the water. We would remove them and get them to higher ground if we could go back and do it again. Obviously, everyone would. The people in RVs by the river's edge. We know in disasters like this, RVs and mobile homes are particularly susceptible, whether a flood or a hurricane or a tornado, they're particularly susceptible to that. And so my hope is, in time, we will learn some lessons to implement to next time, and there will be another flood, there will be another disaster. But next time there's a flood, I hope we have in place processes to remove especially the most vulnerable from harm's way. But I think that's going to be a process that will take a careful examination of what happened and how can we implement processes better in the future to prevent this same loss of life.
Senator, there were claims that the National Weather Service sent that first flash flood warning that should have alerted phones at 1:14 in the morning. But we have a federal public database maintained by PBS Warn, that says the first emergency alert wirelessly here in this area to Kerr County was not until after 9 a.m. That was more than 4 hours after the severe flooding had come to this area. Did you know that? Have you seen that? And what's your response, knowing the state and cuts to the NWS in recent months by this administration?
So I don't know the source for what you're saying. All of the public reporting I've seen is that there were two alerts that went out, one just after 1 a.m., one after 4 a.m. You know, I can tell you, I talked about the partisan finger pointing. I think there have been some eager to point at the National Weather Service and say cuts there led to a lack of warning. I think that's contradicted by the facts. And if you look at the facts in particular, number one, that these warnings went out hours before the flood became a true emergency level. But number two, the National Weather Service here, New Braunfels is where they were headquartered. They had additional manpower. In fact, they had 3 additional people working that night, anticipating that it was going to be a very dangerous weather situation. I also think it's worth noting that the National Weather Service Union, which has been very critical of the DOGE cuts, has publicly said that they don't believe that the reduction in staffing had any impact whatsoever on their ability to warn of this event. And so, look, I think it is reasonable over time to engage in a retrospective and say at every level what could have been done better, because all of us would want to prevent this horrific loss of life. But I think just immediately trying to use it for either side to attack their political opponents, I think that's cynical and not the right approach, particularly at a time when we're dealing with a crisis and we're dealing with grief.
But does this make you question whether there should be cuts at the National Weather Service and FEMA? I know you've been supportive of FEMA.
Look, I am very supportive of FEMA. I'm very supportive of the National Weather Service. They both perform essential roles, and I think it is critical in every federal agency, particularly when you're dealing with public safety, that we make sure that critical roles are maintained. That's a longer and broader discussion, but as I said, everything from the public evidence indicates that was not a contributing factor to what
Is
occurred.
it possible to get Dalton in just to talk about that and what the National Weather Service alerts? Because there were escalating forecasts throughout the day from the National Weather Service. What did the emergency managers of the county and other local officials do with that information, starting at 1:15 and onward, where you had the dire river forecast at 6:30? Were emergency managers doing anything to put these processes in place to warn people on the river?
So overall, we were preparing for the July 4th, weekend. So we had National EMR on site. We were basically stood up kind of an incident command post, if you will, to prepare for that.
Yeah, bro, bonds
so
and
was
stocks.
Kind of up, looked at weather. We looked at the weather before. When you looked at the National Weather Service.
So yeah, equal weight is actually leading the dump. You're down by 0.65. Actually, no, SPY caught up with it.
So everybody.
Yeah, so equal weight got a little worse.
Where's the rain going to hit? We know it's somewhere in here, but with
Coors
rain,
is going up.
especially
That's the one CoreWeave is buying.
You got to figure out sometimes you don't know until it falls.
Fitch
So once it
plans
starts
to
falling,
withdraw
then you gotta figure out,
ratings
how's
of
the
Total
watershed gonna do
Energies
this, how's the
SE.
science gonna work? And when you have that north and south fork that we had talked about before, it all converged into one. We do know that a lot of the camps were looking at this just as much as everybody was. With the rainfall percentages, even the National Weather Service had looked at, and don't quote me on the numbers, but it was anywhere between 1 to 7 inches. We got significantly over that. And again, when it goes into very congregated areas and how that watershed shifts into the rivers, that impacts things. And so the camps,
CCJ.
we've heard stories
I
of
saw
folks
uranium
getting
on the
up
low.
at
No way.
3:30 in the morning. They were
That came
climbing
up.
to higher ground. That's the head. And the other interesting part of the terrain, we've talked to UGRA folks as well.
Yeah,
this is
Oscar
the
Health.
water
Remember,
supply.
they were going back and forth last week.
This is where everything forms when it comes into the north and south fork. And so as those things develop, it develops very rapidly, very quickly, and this rose very quickly in a very short amount of time.
Good morning.
So those campers that were
I
able to
do have
that,
Zifra. I have
it
free
worked.
shares.
You know,
So I
there's
went
another
big on
question.
it, and then I made it free, but I have a couple hundred shares for free. I think 100 for
Evacuation
free.
is a delicate balance.
But yeah, I
If you
still own
evacuate too
Zifra.
late, you then risk putting buses
We're up 42% on. Damn, I got that at 7.
on roads into
I didn't know that.
rural
Why did I
areas
think I bought it way
trying to
higher?
which then can make
Yeah,
it
we're up
more
42 on the
challenging.
equity.
These flash
Fuck.
floods happen very quickly as well.
Was that in 1987? But was there
We're gonna
any
switch the last
back
question.
earlier when it was?
I have another old one too. If you guys remember BSGM, that one we're green on. That was just an old free one. I remember I got free on that one multiple times. But that one's up too.
Well, so again, just like disasters in Texas everywhere, it's very tough to make those calls because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf. We don't want to make sure that we activate it at the right time. It is very difficult, very challenging, especially with this. We're looking at 100 kilometers, right? That's a big straight line distance. That's not even along the river. These areas take a lot of time to get out to. So even when first responders were on the ground at 3:30 in the morning and we had reports, we had first responders that were getting swept away, actually responding to the first areas of rainfall. That's how quick it happened. First responders who have experience, who are swift water qualified.
Oh, win 108.
As soon as the rain started falling, we're driving to these areas, and one of them got swept off the road.
Well,
One last question, everybody. One last question.
1 and 4 a.m. from local law enforcement to the camp saying, I know you can't get buses in an hour.
Then AVTR, that was the one with the activist. No, it didn't move.
You need to get the girls to higher ground. At the very least, even if they have to walk up there in the rain, as many of them actually ended up doing. Was there any communication from local law enforcement, anyone at that camp between 1 and 4 a.m.?
That I don't know off the top of my head. What I do know, though, is there's 55,000 people in Kirk County. Kirk County is a massive, massive area. From here to those camps is 45 minutes on a good day. And so, obviously one of the big challenges that we have, even when you have cell service, a lot of those areas don't even have cell service. Radio communications towers, radio towers within the hill country becomes very challenging. So
Okay,
there's a lot
Spy,
of
this is your
areas,
first little,
especially when
like,
weather comes in, where some of
bounce
those towers
forming
are
from
down.
one of these cells. Every
You
other
already
one,
have
you
bad
had it like
service.
one
So
time
there's
there
a lot of-
earlier.
a lot of factors
But yeah,
that
and a
play,
couple
lot
of things
variables in
moving.
there.
Spy,
A lot of
O'Reilly,
communication
Dash.
stuff. Again, I think
And then Bonds, though. Bonds are probably gonna be the victim on that.
A lot of questions regarding what are the
European
next steps,
scrutiny,
what's
Robinhood
next. I think
stock
all of these
tokens
things
face
are all great
scrutiny in Europe
questions, and as we
after
continue search and
OpenAI
rescue, as we
warning.
continue to move to the next step, we definitely want to dive in and look
Hymns,
at all
I
those
feel like I
things,
haven't seen
from
hymns in a minute.
Cell service tower to to radio communications, emergency alerting, any of those things. I think we all really need to take a look at and review, and we're looking forward to doing that once we can get this search and rescue and stuff.
In regards to the total number of, before I say anything else, I just want to say thank you to you, all the first responders, everyone involved. We've been praying. Thank you. We've been praying. The media's been praying. Thank you guys for doing that. I've got two questions. One, are you trying to get an accurate count on number of missing? I know you can't. I know we don't know we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
But do we know a rough idea on total estimates that are still missing overall throughout the county? And then one other follow-up, this may be for Senator Cruz. A lot of speculations being made about this being somehow man involved with the weather modification, with some of the rainmaker technology working with farmland. Do you think any of that, is there going to be any investigations into that, or can you communicate anything on that?
Let me answer your first question, I'll definitely turn that second one over. So, on the first question, with missing persons, so obviously we have the knowns, the can't miss the kids, which is the numbers coming down as the sheriff has stated, and then we have the unknowns, where we don't know what we don't know. We actually have a 5 hotline line. It fluctuates between 3 and 5, but we're working on it. We get calls 24 hours, 7 days a week. We haven't hit the weeks yet, but we're taking in calls. We are collecting all that information. So we don't have a solid number that we're going to talk about right now.
Oracle's moving up.
A lot, because we also are getting a lot of fake calls.
Fake calls?
This is a worldwide discussion, and we're dealing with scammers, victims' families. Are being reached out to saying that they have their kids pay me money. It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. We're dealing with with mental health issues where people are calling saying they have visions. All of these things we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
People calling and saying they have visions? That's sad.
It becomes very taxing on our people.
I did not even think that they were doing this, bro.
Heartbreaking. This is, if not the worst, one of the worst disasters in this region in a very, very long time, even beyond 1987. And so, but we're
best estimate like dozens or hundreds, or just to give people an idea.
A lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and not to get into the weeds on, people were asking lots of questions, and where should we start the investigation now?
To the best of my knowledge, there is zero evidence of anything related to anything like weather modification. And look, the internet can be a strange place. People can come up with all sorts of crazy theories. What I know is a reality is that.
Well, I know that direct energy,
right now,
like instruments, was in the bill. I posted it on Twitter.
Who was talking about online, being harassed online because their information was public, that they had a little girl who was missing in Mystic. And
Data Dog on the wall.
There are a lot of people who are messed up, and my call for everyone, there's a time to have political fights, there's a time to disagree. This is not that time. This is a time just to reach out, support each other, go volunteer at the Salvation Army, give them money, go volunteer at your church, go. You know what I did when this happened? Just go hug your kids, because I got to tell you, I hugged my girls with tears in my eyes, because every one of us who's a parent, there but for the grace of God go I, and nothing will fill the void in these moms and dads' hearts, but they'll make it through it. And every one of us, we have an obligation to come through and help them make it through it. And look, Texas will come through, and let me say, Kirk County, the Hill Country is incredible, it is beautiful. And these summer camps, Camp Mystic is an incredible Texas institution. For a century, it has made a profound difference helping young girls become strong women in Texas and across the country. And so, for me at least, I'm praying for these camps. I'm praying for all the campers, everyone implicated, everyone impacted. And I hope we come together and stand as one.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, it's over? All right.
Good morning, folks.
No,
You
yeah.
were not here earlier.
Yeah, man, that's sad. Prayers up, bro. It was crazy. If you saw the video, bro, I've never seen anything like that. It went from a road to just like a river. But other than that, Chad, it's very early, and it is time to do a push-up. Yes, I know. I missed you, bro. I missed you. I hope you relaxed and you had a good weekend, but at the end of the day, bro, today's kind of slow. Just like how it's moving. All right, there you go. Now the glow ticker wanted to move, but Chattadonia, we've been here for 2.5 hours. 4.5 hours left to go. Sitting is the new smoking. You know the vibes, baby. Get beside your desk and do 10 push-ups. Let's go, baby. Just move your body around. Stand up. Shake it off. Oh, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I saw over the week? Let me see if I can find you the video. I'll show you my next stretch video, guys. It's terrible. It's like Chinese workout videos. Yeah, I know. It's like Chinese stretching. You do like the Running Man where you like wave your hands. and then you like do the chest torso trunks, and then you like do like knee highs, and then you clap your knee, bro. It's like a Chinese thing, bro. Oh, the bicep thing, dude. I was doing that in the car. I'm telling you, anytime at a stoplight, I look so dumb, but oh, it's so good. So yeah, I hope that last video helped. But chat, get up, move around, take care of your body if you're gonna be here. You know what I'm saying? Ah! I just broke something. Ah! More things breaking. All right. I see. Just swing the arms, bro. Just move, bro. Just move. Oh, yeah. So like, I don't know how to describe this stretch right now, bro. I gotta find the video, but it was on Instagram. I'm like swinging my arms back and forth up, and they do that for like a minute, and then we go to the trunk twists. Shit, man, just getting mobile. But yeah, get a push-up in. Let me see if I can get you propaganda so you don't have to hear my weird grunts. But move around, bro. We got 4.5 hours left. Take care of your body, because you're going to need it if you are going to be at the ranch. You know what I'm saying? It requires a lot of working, a lot of movement.
Continue today. A group of university professors are taking the Trump administration to federal court in Boston today. They are arguing the administration's targeting of students who are critical of Israel has chilled free speech in the U.S. in violation of the First Amendment. The non-jury trial is expected to last 2 weeks. And trash is piling up in Philadelphia as the city's municipal workers remain on strike for a 7th day. The work stoppage, which lasted throughout the holiday weekend, is impacting a number of other city services as well, including 911 dispatch and water. Union leaders and city officials last held negotiations on Saturday, but just couldn't agree on a deal, Leslie. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Silvana, thank you. Silvana Hanau for us. The CEO of Howard Hughes is on the other side of this break, why he thinks the recent weakness in the housing market is only temporary. We'll be right back.
Crypto Watch is sponsored by Crypto.com. Crypto.com is America's premier.
Come on now, give me some other propaganda. I got like 2 more sets. I got to do like the dead core swings, and then I'm gonna do like a leg thing. Then we'll be good.
A transformative figure to many in the technology space who dared to actually build stuff in a technology world that was largely focused around consumer apps. You know, but he is not the inventor. He is not the key technologist. What he is the key spokesperson. And so the underlying behavior that is occurring here, it's not entirely clear that he has a choice to back away from the political sphere, given the exposure that his businesses have. Whether this is reckless or not is ultimately going to be determined by the history books. We can't really know the influence, but with a deeply divided electorate, the threat of a third party does have the potential to disrupt elections, primarily hurting Republicans much more than it would likely hurt Democrats.
This is a global company as well. And Michael, we've seen the impact in Europe that Musk's political affiliations have had. You then think about China, where real growth engine for them, but maybe China starts to look at the lessening in political weight that Elon has had with the administration, backs away there, and then you got competition. Do you remain as exposed to this name, as little as it is?
Well, ultimately, we have a fund that is dedicated to Tesla, so we will buy that just based on whether shareholders want exposure to that name or not through that fund. But at the end of the day, this is a business that for the very first time in history is actually looking at the potential for a sales decline. It has had extraordinary success in a few models. The Model Y was obviously a huge runaway success. But it has an aging product mix. It has significant new competition, particularly from Chinese companies coming in. And this is, of course, creating conditions under which the business itself is very much under threat. It has always been a bit of a mystery from a valuation standpoint. And so it's very hard to create a compelling argument for why you should be aggressively buying Tesla now, other than the desire to gain exposure to a very high volatility, high beta name which has been one of the key characteristics that have attracted people to it over time.
Yeah, Michael, give us the signal that you're getting from those that have wanted to get into your fund, that have wanted the exposure to the volatility or to the mystery around Elon Musk in and of itself. Is that waned in any way in the current political environment?
We haven't really seen it wane in any meaningful way, but the reality is that most of these levered ETFs are simply offering investors a tool to access lower cost leverage than they could obtain through a margin account. You can get a 2x levered exposure at a fraction of the cost once you factor in management fees and the cost of the leverage that can be obtained in the institutional space. It's much less expensive than trying to obtain that through margin or through options. And so the argument is very compelling. If you want that levered exposure, the question is ultimately, do you want levered exposure to a business that really has gone somewhat ex-growth and is now looking at a situation in which those political liabilities, both in China, where it's perceived as an American company at a time period where that's probably not particularly attractive, Europe, similar phenomenon, and as I mentioned, growing competition in the United States, as well as the political headwinds, make this a very challenging environment for Elon Musk.
Fascinating conversation. Michael Green of Simplify Asset Management. Appreciate your time today. Now coming up, more crackdown on chips as the US, well, we're looking at the White House saying to prepare more chip curbs in an effort to combat smuggling into China. More on that next. This is Bloomberg Tech.
That's it, bro. We talked about Lulu earlier. There's a couple of things going on with it, but I don't think Costco is the main thing, but they did sue Costco not too long ago. It's just the trends and activity and sales and clothing and then tariffs. So all those factors. Zelensky vowed to Trump to replace U.S. envoy, criticized by Trump allies. Good morning, baby. I hope you're feeling good. First solar on the low. Again, that was just euro close. Today's been slow. Remember on Monday, I think last Monday, I don't know if it was red, but I remember we had the big rotation. Today was just, you got your events, you're anticipating a little bit more from the trade stuff, but I'd say overall underwhelming when it's all said and done. But welcome to July. You're actually one full week in now, but this is our first full week without any barriers. But then you actually don't get much data. Well, there's Oscar. And then the low ticker is still pretty active, though. So we are near the low. Like I said, there's about 30 names that are green, but you're moving. I think some people are still hungover, but usually you're slow after the 4th of July. If it's like a weird date. But the thing is, 4th of July was on Friday. So it has been 3 days. Silver now and gold. And then SPY's still there and Palant. But low ticker is more active than less active right now. Plant. Yeah, bro. Carvana. Don't even get me started. I remember it at $8. But yeah, they were about to go bankrupt and then someone bailed them out. That was post-banking crisis, 2023. Circa 2023. Good morning, man. It's bright and early. It feels, I don't know, it's kind of kicking. So, I don't know, the morning felt super slow, and it felt like, we took all day, and it was like, man, we keep going down. It feels slow, but it was only like an hour or two, or less than an hour. Now we're at like 2 hours, but before you know it, you'll be halfway done. It's been one way, just random headlines about what's going on, politics to conflict. Roblo 107. The RV trip went very well. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I have a couple of videos. I don't have as many videos as I would have liked, but I was too busy enjoying it, bro. But yeah, And then I took film of the farm, you guys, and I was going to post it, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to post it. I'm going to wait until I can give you the full video. So, yeah, I got some stuff for you, though. In due time, in due time. But good morning, man. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I hope you're ready for July and summer, and I hope, too, that I've reminded a lot of people today, just be humble about it. Right when we think we know what's going to happen, it might change. And then, too, just summer is usually slower. So I hope you guys invest in the long term. Don't let the slowness chop you up and force it on you. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be good, bro. You'll be good. FBI agents, it's weird though, because like it has a cool view in it. So if I show the view, you'll probably be able to find the property, but if you like record the horses and like where the stables are, you can't see any. It's like it's hidden. I don't know. I took a video, all you see is the sky, and there's no. It's crazy. It's crazy, but we'll see. It's early. I'm getting final numbers today. I got a 10-day delay on the whole process because we didn't finish everything on Thursday. So we will say. Russia says they're ready to supply Iran with enriched uranium at a level sufficient for peaceful nuclear program. And then Palantir again. And SPY is about to go low. Now Delta and UAL are on the low. Remember I was saying oil was weird, bro. Oil was like slowly climbing. Airlines were ripping. And I was like, it's getting to a weird point. And then now the airlines have flipped. So interesting morning. Already a lot of back and forth. But again, the moves are all within 0.75%. Anything below here, though, it starts to get bigger. But remember, you had some decent melt up last week. And you're about 10, 15 points, 10, 12 points from filling the gap. I robot. Oh, the guy. I've seen that guy too. I don't know how I think that's next level. That's next level. But we'll see. I'm going to make the video. I'll probably post the video like a week after I get it. Because I just need to get everything set up. And then once I have it on autopilot, you know, we're planning on that address getting around. But yeah, like I'm saying, it's not going to be it's your guys's. I got my own house, Chad. I got my own house. You know, this is now, we get a clubhouse. I'm so excited, bro. God willing, God willing. God willing, but I did pull contingencies. I just got a 10-day delay. I could still back out if the second appraisal doesn't come in right, but I think it's going to be good. God willing, God willing. If not, then that means it's not meant to be. Oh, dude, Delta earnings, then you got bank earnings. I totally forgot. Earnings season kicks off like next week, bro. Can you build an outdoor gym of wood and shit? I mean, that doesn't sound like the level of planning I was expecting, but I'm down. I think you could build it out of wood and shit. Are you talking like a jungle gym? Like, is it going to be like weights made out of like dumbbells of wood? I've seen something like that, I think. Treasury statement, technical issues with bill auctions today. Huh? Well, SPY going lower, bonds, maybe that's why bonds are getting clobbered. Because you get today's 2 or 3, or is that tomorrow? But the rest of the week has like, we have big supply and auctions. So that's kind of wild. But yeah, they're saying issues. I don't know if that's it. Von der Leyen says Europe must show strength in trade negotiations with U.S. So you actually are getting bad news right now. So not the Treasury stuff, but von der Leyen, EU, kind of talking a little bit of shit or implying that they're going to negotiate a little harder. That's coming out right now. Yeah, Treasury says 13 26-week bill auctions face technical issue. Very interesting. All right, man. SPY, dude, you've had what? You've had like 1, 2, 2.5, 3 waves of green. That's all you had today. Otherwise, first 2-3 hours straight down. It started a little slower. Half of it was a gap down, but like I said, it's about 3/4. You start moving past like 1%, it'll look pretty big, but most of that was a result of the gap up or the gap down. Palantir again. Well, remember, that's the thing. I posted it. I showed you guys this screenshot. The last video I posted on the trading fraternity. I mean, I think it's super relevant still. But remember, all of these dates. Isn't that crazy? Everything you knew, it was all here. So the BRICS and then the 90-day pause. But don't forget about this one. China-EU summit. I think a lot of people forgot about that. That's going to be another one on that side of the pond. We're going to hear about China and the European Union. And like I told you, if they make a deal that's better than our deal, that's not good. But if U.S. could strike a deal with both of those that works, then that's then we start to put this one on the back burner. White House trade talk dead? No, they said within the next 24 hours they're going to release who they have deals with, and then they're going to inform the people that they don't have deals with about what's going to happen. And then they say in the next 48 hours they're going to announce pretty much who they have deals with and who they sent the letters to. Palantir. Yeah, bro, Palantir's killing it. I don't know what that is, Marcus, but it sounds like you're breaking the rules, buddy. You do great work on the mixing, but you gotta follow the rules, brother. Gotta follow the rules. Skibble. Skyline. Oh, damn. That thing's down 80%. Then Toast popping. Again, you had a Firm and another one. XYZ. They were moving up earlier. Circle 2. And then where's Coin and Hood? Apple. Bro, bonds are murdered today. That I don't like. TLT back to the low 86s. I mean, the last like 4 days of TLT rally, you kind of just gave it up. You just gave up like 2-3 days of gains all in one day right now. So again, you're back. I pull this out on the 1 year. Remember, 86 is like in between the lows from the beginning of the year. So watch out for that. Zivra, bro. I didn't even, dude. I thought we bought it at like $10. Apparently got it at 7, dude. But yeah, that thing's killing it. IEVA, uranium. Again, Oklo is down. I think CCJ might be down, but last time I clicked on it, it was going up, but it was still red. Now you got Enphase as well. So energy stocks, not just oil, but like different energy is going up. Yeah, now CCJ's in the green. Tesla, I mean, still 7%. That was the gap down from the forming of political parties. NATO on the low. It's 'cause they suck. They need us. What? I didn't know. NATO themes transatlantic defense ETF. Called NATO. I did not know they made that ETF. It's crazy. Boom. Well, Tesla's at a low end. That's why I'm like, if the sentiment sours, it could definitely flush. But then again, too, if the worst comes to worst and they're like, we already knew this, it'll start dancing between 300 to 360, or we go back to 290, 300 to 220. So it's one or the other, but you're right at the middle of two different ranges that thing could fall into. IEVA again, MP on the high. They were red earlier. So let's see. Again, a lot of stuff that was red in the morning is starting to flip. So you kind of had a shift at Euro close. I mean, this was Euro close. We bounced a little bit ahead of it, but then a couple of things started dumping there. And then a couple of names that were red have been getting a bid. So I still think it's the same breakdown as earlier. You just unfortunately don't have that many names that are up. So yeah, S&P, I believe it's 150. Dow Jones, only 4 names in the green. NASDAQ, 23 in the green. So yeah, you're 75% red. 88 green on this SPY. So it got even worse. There's only 80 names green. Oh, and we got Jake from State Farm. I'll take that green, baby. What up, dog? I hope you had a good weekend and a happy 4th. My man, and shout out to Lautarba. Oh, man. Hoffman says Trump can't interfere in Brazilian election. All right, well, Jake from State Farm pulled up. Why is SPY tripping like that? Jake is here, bro. He's there. He's here. But now, yeah, you're going down, and equal weight is dumping more now. So right around here, you flipped the SPY equal weight. SPY was doing worse. It had more gains, more losses, but now equal weight is taking over. So everything's selling off. Like I told you, last time we had a checkup, you had about 150 names green on the SPY. Now it's 80. So whatever happened, like Euro close and post, seems like everything else is starting to sell while the other ones get their bid. Beautiful. You visited the Weiss family. Oh, nice. You go on a road trip? Or did y'all fly? Did any of you guys fly for the 4th, bro? Because I can't. I don't think I've ever flown. I know I've flown once on the 4th of July, and it was packed. The bill auction news. It could be. I mean, that's. Nobody wants to hear about bonds not being able to be sold, but the good news, it's on the short end. So we'll see, but for now, I mean, it could also be the energy effect. Maybe we'll get something with China, but all in all, I wouldn't really chalk up today to anything. I think we're just kind of moving, and then last week was big. I mean, you got a little bit of anticipation for what we're going to get into, but I don't think it's that crazy. Droves, that's what I was doing, bro, this whole weekend. I was a truck driver, bro. I was a truck driver. You're flying back to San Diego. Beautiful. I always love landing back in California or San Diego. It's always nice. Good to be home. Feel good to be home. You're on a cruise ship in Cabo listening? No way. That's fly, bro. See, go get the good tan, get the good food, go to a gym. It's a very good time. You drove 8 hours? Like straight? I think I drove probably like 5 hours, but not straight. I just kept driving. I was loving this RV, bro. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of driving. It was terrible. CVOE on the high. Where's DG? I saw DC. Yeah, Dollar General still going, and then XYZ, Affirm. Some of the payment plays. Banks are all red. There's a lot of red today. Like I'm saying, you got 80 names green on the SPY. Maybe, 20 on the NASDAQ and 4 on the Dow. So that's like 100 total all throughout the market. Or the major indices. Birthday was on the 4th, though. Of course you do. Happy belated. You and I share the same birthday. Hard on. Amen. And God bless you, Alyssa. Man, what a great journey. All these years and more to the long term. And wait, I'm so glad you picked up real estate. You know that? I'm so glad that you did. And may there be more blessings and glory with our Father, baby. Happy birthday. Amen. I love the 4th of July. Microsoft, what's this? And Team. Hold on, I think they're related, but Microsoft's starting to pop. Team got a candle too, but Microsoft is moving. Hold on, I'm checking that. Yeah, Microsoft and Team, it could be different, but they kind of moved in tandem. U.S. loosens chip export curbs. 7:30? No. Holy crap, Wolf's still going. So I'm going to time you out, John Wayne. You're pumping it, okay, brother? I try to be nice about it, and I told you that it's scammy, and that's why I've ignored it. Have you seen your chat facts? This is crazy. 1, 2, 3, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Cook. 4, 5, that's me calling you out. I got you. 6. 80% of your chats are pumping a company that is bankrupt. You see what I'm saying? That has literally filed Chapter 7 or Chapter 11. And that is primarily all you are talking about in about 3 hours of the day. So I hope you see why your ban has been placed. It's not a ban, it's a timeout, but if I communicate to you and you acknowledge me and then you repeat the behavior, I'm banning you next time, and that's our relationship will be over because YouTube won't let me unban you again. So, like I'm saying though, you guys get with it, make your money. I have no problem making money. I'm glad, you know, if you bought Wolf from the morning, you should have made a lot of money, right? You know what I'm saying? No problem. I'm fine with that. Just don't flex on the chads. And like I said, I tried to give a warning earlier, but to bring attention to something a little scammy and like, you know, it's not good. It's not a good look, bro. Not a good look. So please don't repeat that again. But for now, you're gone for the day. Oscar. I'm not in a relationship with you, no. I meant like a relationship of I give you stocks in long term, you know? Because I've had that happen, bro. So please, I'm not talking to any of you. I've had it happen multiple times where people think I'm speaking to them. You know that? I had somebody think we were in a relationship and I never spoke to them. Ever. Ever. So no, please don't do that. Thank you. Be safe. Be stable. Okay, you guys, I'm not a prophet either. Do you need me to correct anything else right now? We could just get it all out the way. Palantir, bro, that was red in the morning. I mean, they could benefit because of the bill, but I'm not really a big fan of solar. I am excited to build the new long term. It's going to be wild. It'll be fun. I mean, we'll see, though, once I get the loan numbers. So it all depends on this appraisal amount, but we're going to find out if they're going to be weird about it or not. But it's either we're going to be left with some cash or worse comes to worse, I might have to. You classify me as a seer? I'm not, bro. Please don't do that. Do you remember I banned you before? So that's not true. That's false. I am just a person. I am a man. I am a piece of shit. I don't even have the discipline to control my language. So for you guys to put a spiritual father title on me is bullshit. Do you get what I'm saying? I believe in Jesus Christ and he deserves the glory. So I will ban you if you give me the glory that should go to God. I'm going to ban you. Okay? I've timed you out again. Please don't make that mistake again. I'm not trying to leave any room for this lack of stability. Do you guys understand? The over spiritualization, the assuming people are fucking seers and prophets it's not good for your mentality. It's not stable. That's like borderline going insane. Do you guys understand? I believe in Jesus. I do, and I love it, and he's worked amazing things in my life, but it's not in this weird, like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not over spiritualized things. I'm not making it all in that sense, and you are all called to be mature, wise people and walk in it. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why I think all of that, it's superstition, it's garbage, it's trash. It's what's the same thing as a horoscope. It's the same thing as seeing a psychic. So that's why I don't stand for that, okay, you guys? So please, and if you're going to think it's a cute game, I'm just going to remove you. Because if you want to entertain that stuff, I think it's evil, and I'm not going to allow that around here. So please, please, please. And I say it for you guys too, though. Think about yourself. Like, lock in, bro. Lock in and live a good life and live it in a stable, nice way, a clear way, clarity, no confusion. It's not the real deal. It's all evil shit, man. Get out of it. Okay, now you're banned. So I'm not even going to warn you, because I just warned 4 other people and you continue to hammer it home. So thank you for being the example. I can't unban you anymore, big dog. That's on you. Like I'm saying, I'm not going to let you guys support that shit in here. If you want, just keep it to yourself. Otherwise, you know what's going to happen. And that's why, don't get surprised too when I keep if you guys have a history of getting banned, please notice these moments and observe. You are choosing what to say in here. I'm not, and I'm telling you what I think, what I believe, what the standard is. It's on you to follow up, bro. Well, that was the first ban I had to, unfortunately. So everything else has been a timeout, but I'm not tolerating that. Because like I said, you guys don't think I've reminded you guys once a week. I've been getting emails. I even got some death threats. That's like the negative version of it. But then there's like the positive version is when they keep gassing me up, calling me a prophet. Give the glory to God, no one else, and try to, like I'm saying, don't over spiritualize this stuff. And I hope you actually have a real relationship with God and not a superstition. Amen. Amen. Chime. I didn't hear about that one. RKLB, they profited, or they went up on people thinking SpaceX was going to get clapped by the government. Palantigan and Dollar General. DG, TSSI. I don't know, I like financials. I'm just scared of the random ones. Like the small ones, like even SoFi. But financials, DREG, the fucking Basel III, all of those are going to be bullish. I'm actually very excited for banks and financials, but there's going to be a couple of trash ones in there. But yeah, I don't know much about Chime, so I can't say if they're good or bad. Damn, the yen weakens 1%. The yen is down 1% right now. And the dollar's up only a quarter. Interesting. I see Chime. I know the name. I just haven't looked at their financials. I don't really know what they do. They're all going up today. I think PayPal, they ran before. Look, Affirm is on the high right now too. Affirm, XYZ, and there's one more. There's one more of the, was it Sezzle? Sezzle? Yeah, that one's down. But most of the like financial pay apps are doing decent today. Decent. But today is slow. I don't think it's really giving us much. What we really got to be on the lookout for is for our boy at the, what's it called? Oh, the middle of the week. I want to see it. Like, let's see if we get our boy, the rotation. That's what I want to see. If we can get that, If that could come out, that would be great. But if not, I think it'll be a weird week without any real rotation dynamics that we could spot. So we'll find out. I mean, yeah, the volume is kind of light, but we've opened up like this the last couple of days very, very easy. It's been like slow and then out of nowhere. So again, towards the end of the day, wait till maybe like Besant or Trump comes out, or we do nothing all day today and then watch like 30 minutes, an hour after the bell. It'll all be driven by post-bell news. BNP Paribas Oliver Osti will become CEO of CIB. New Jersey. I'd like 3M, but I wouldn't buy it here. We're up a lot on 3M, and the point was 3M was like Whirlpool. We bought it when it was dead, and then now it's already kind of rebounded, and we got the split shares, so I'd be careful. I don't think, 3M's a great company. I love it, but I like it at the value. But just like Whirlpool, I was not really fond. I was vehemently against some of you guys buying it at 130. I don't think that was wise. But, after it recovered, if it's like deep recovery and recovers, you might want to wait. So does it mean, I could miss out with this strategy, and you could miss out because you're like, oh, recovery, and then it just really keeps going. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I can't get myself to buy 3M at 150. Yeah, we had it at like 70, 80s. And it was paying the dividend. It still pays a dividend. I remember when they were paying a high dividend. So it's already gone through a lot. TSSI. I saw that one early. Jeez. Look at that daily. But yeah, that one was moving up earlier. I like Dow. People ask me about that one. It's a good one to keep in mind. I mean, I know about Dow Chemicals. I think I use them involuntarily in my life. But it's a name people know about. It's been around for, I think, 100 years or something. And then it has that deep value. But yeah, Dow I wouldn't touch. MM. Oh, okay. Yeah. I could get behind that. Yeah, 3M, you wait till it comes down. But then again, Dow Chemicals, that's Monsanto. And they've had their own things too. Like I'm saying, depending on how much you know about it and use it. I'm not really a chemical purchaser. I am with some of my real estate stuff. But like I'm saying, involuntarily, Dow Chemicals is part of your life. But it could be a decent one. Like I'm saying, I would probably prefer Pepsi and some other names. But if I ever ran out of options and this thing was still down, I probably would take it. So you get what I'm saying? Remember the relativity. We have a couple of good names right now that I think are just tied into everything perfectly, and they're at good prices. If those names cease to exist, then some of these other ones that if they still remain lower, like if everything goes up and Dow's there, I like it. There's another name like that we talked about recently too, but yeah, Dow Chemicals is in you. So I'd say the involuntary use of it. Dow's been big your whole life. So Dow Chemicals has been big my whole entire life. Dow Chemicals was my first conspiracy theory I ever got involved in. You know that? I remember. Do you remember your first conspiracy theory? I remember my first conspiracy theory. My first conspiracy theory was Monsanto. You don't remember? Even Alex Jones, bro. I swear that was Alex Jones's first conspiracy. Without Dow Chemicals, you won't have Alex Jones. Without Dow Chemicals, bro. I'm just telling you. Dow, dude, Monsanto. This was the first, hated company. Yeah, bro. This is my first ever conspiracy theory. I think I was in high school, middle school maybe, and I learned about Monsanto. And you go on the internet, you're like, Monsanto seeds, the weeds, the Roundup, the crops, the GMOs, the But no, Monsanto's dirty. So yeah, they've documentedly gotten in trouble for a bunch of shit. But yeah, like I'm saying, this company has been around longer than Josh, and it probably will be too. Yeah, literally Agent Orange. Straight up. That is Dow Chemicals. I'm pretty sure, or it was 3M or another one, but I think it does go back to Dow. I think they literally made it. Baba is selling off. That's a little weird. We'll see, because if Baba in China comes down, that could open the door for U.S. to rip. Because like I was telling you in the morning, China was doing good, and then the other ones were selling off. It was the non-stick pan. Oh, what? I didn't hear about that. I remember. I vaguely remember something about pans. Or I remember, and then this one wasn't a conspiracy. You remember back in like the 90s when that dude would go to like, when the Tylenol plant got infected? You guys remember that? It was like in the 90s. One of the Tylenol plants got compromised, and somebody would like go to stores or the plant and they like fucked up the Tylenols and people would like get diseases. You remember that? That was a big thing. Yeah, the Tylenol murders. That's what it was. It was murders. Somebody was like going into Tylenol packaging and like fucking it up, and then that's why they changed the packaging laws, believe it or not. Yeah, cyanide. Yeah, you guys you know about it. You haven't heard. There's so many things that's why, do you guys not get why I like history? When I'm telling you like I'm a nerd and like I love this shit and I get fascinated, because there's so much shit that has happened on this world. Even if you're like generally older, there's so many things that happen. It's just like when you go back, bro, and you hear songs and you're like, what the fuck did he just say? It's the same thing, but just in Earth, in the world. We've gone through and done so many stuff as like a population, and there's history of it, but like, yeah, you just live through it, and then most people just forget, and then there's like 1,000 events every week. So yeah, but yeah, like, dude, there's that, the history. I might give you guys a lesson. Let me get you, let me find a cool one, and I will make an economic one, because business ethics, that's where you can learn. Business ethics, that's where you could go, like cars, and you understand safety. I'll give you a quick one on Al Gore and some of the other, or no, was it Perot? I think Ross Perot. Someone even brought him up earlier when he made his third party. But it is like, there's so many things where it's like you could get the business stuff, but like the history of just random stuff and what has happened and how it led to what you had. Again, even smoke alarms. You guys know that? Like, they didn't start making smoke alarms part of building code until a fire broke out in a Vegas casino and a bunch of people died. Why? Because I think Caesars didn't have smoke alarms to save money. Again, that was in like the 80s or the 90s. There's so many of these little events that and like, you're like, what the fuck? And then that's how you have the laws today. Just wait till what we get from AI. Why do you think I keep telling you I will trust AI after a bunch of people die? How many times have I said that to you? Because almost any big development in human American history, that is what has happened. Every time. Every technology, everything you could think of. Lawnmowers. You know how many people got clapped by lawnmowers and fucking hair dryers before we started establishing, like, okay, this is how they operate. And then we started transferring liability to producers. And then it leads into a whole nother issue of politics and all of that. Yeah, it's very morbid, but it is the truth. I mean, we all are going to die one day, but that's another one of those things. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Chainsaw? I don't know how they got to chainsaw. I don't have any fun facts on chainsaws, but I do know lawnmowers. I know lawnmowers and hair dryers. I have some stories on that. The cars, the Tylenol. Oh, there's so many things. Well, Ross Perot fought the whole auto industry. I'm pretty sure it was him. And like, cause dude, cars used to impale people. Again, that's why like the whole 21 and up to drink and drive, that's related to your car safety. And then they tied it into freeway funding. That's all tied to it. That's all tied to Ross Perot, whether you realize it or not. But that's what I'm saying. There's all these things that you would be shocked how it. Ralph Nader, no, that's who it is. Perot was involved in it, but Ralph Nader was the car guy. Yeah, I'm confused. And then Ralph Nader ran for president, but then we said nah. Non-smoking in planes, yeah. It didn't even matter. The seatbelts were one thing, but then it was like the auto safety. But then again, that also leads to like crony capitalism though too. So one thing is like people would create shit and then it would kill people and it would be terrible. But then even though they'd fix it, in a process of fixing it, it ended up creating regulations and then benefiting the people who already had access to the industry. And then before you know it, it goes from capitalism to problems, and then it creates harm, and then you have to fix the harm. But then in fixing the harm, it turns into politics and crony capitalism. Ta-da! MPW, I like it, but any and then Microsoft popping right now. Again, we saw that earlier on the first run-up post-Euro. But I like MPW as a company. I still think it's in that value and they got to recover, but I wouldn't touch any REIT until we know what's going to happen with bonds. Maybe until they fire Powell or until we get a new Fed chair. Maybe that's when it is, but for now, I mean, Powell is single-handedly making all of the real estate stocks uninvestable. Because again, you thought a year ago these guys would have been able to refi. All right, that candle's getting big. That flip. So Microsoft went green to red, a way bigger candle now on this SPY. You're coming down now. Check Apple. Check. This is going to be the bad Chinese news. Watch. I don't have it yet, but like I told you, I'm expecting one round of bad news and then one good one. So sent trade letter to Japan. That's going to be your bad news. 25% on Japan. That's the headline. Again, the yen was already clapped. So let's see. I was gonna check the truth. Truth says so. Oh, where's my phone with my truth? We had 25% on Japan. So get ready. Like I'm telling. Well, the yen was already clapped prior, but like I was telling you, I think we're gonna get the first round of bad ones, and then you're gonna start hearing good ones. Of 25% tariffs. South Korea too. All right, bigger drop there. I think you could play it, but then again, this is down around where the NASDAQ was earlier, surprisingly. But like I'm saying, I think it's going to get followed up by something good eventually. Let me see the truth. The truth is on social. Oh shit, he posted the actual letter. His Excellency Lee Jae-myung, President of Korea. A great honor to send this letter that demonstrates the strength and commitment of trading. Nevertheless, we've decided to move forward with you, but only with more balanced and fair. Therefore, we invite you to participate. Number one market by far. We have had years to discuss trading. Our relationship has been unfortunately far from reciprocal. Starting August 1st, we will charge Korea a tariff of only 25%, and all Korean products sent to the U.S. Will be needed to eliminate. Please understand 25 is far less than what we need. I'm just skimming through it. Whatever the number you choose to raise them by will be added to another 25% we charge. So if they respond back, Trump is going to match the rate and 25%. So that's what he sent to South Korea and Japan. But then, do you guys not get it? You have a date now, August 1st. So essentially, this is like the warning shot, and then from the warning shot, if they don't respond, starting August 1st. So like I said, I think people are going to react a little bit, but this isn't the big one, unfortunately. Again, you care about China, and then you care about... they're all coming down, though. And then the EU. But yeah, now August 1st, and then that's the first set of bad news. I think we're going to get a good one when they start announcing who they have deals with. So cause the move, people might trade it, but again, summer, follow through, think about all that, think about the importance, the context of all of it, and play accordingly. But I haven't made a move on that one. But there you go, 9:30. The market did crash in August, the flash crash. You had a random little crash for 3 days on the yen, believe it or not. Remember, it was the yen carry trade? And everybody forgot about that. So everybody, I remember we got over the flash crash so quick, but that was weird. Trump, if they, yeah, it's the same thing. So they're putting it out, but yeah. So watch, there's going to be a good follow-up, you guys. I said this last night and this morning. So if that shit happens, don't you dare act surprised and get mad. Because like I'm saying, why you don't care about Japan, motherfucker. None of you care about Japan or Korea. What are you guys saying? So they're going to come in. That's the first bad one, whether it happens today, but I think down the line, maybe tomorrow, you're going to hear about who we did make a deal with. And then we're going to get something from there, and then we'll move from that. Oh, dollar going up isn't bad. So that's what I'm saying. But then again, dollar's only going up because the yen is down by 1%. So, you know what I'm saying? That it's going to be a weird one, and the euro. But we'll see. I think it'll break away, and then we'll look back and we'll be like, oh. But for now, you're still in they're trying to figure it out mode. But yeah, you got a little reaction. I think it's reactionary, but I don't think that news is big. I think it sounds bad, but you should have anticipated all of this, as we kind of have talked about this morning. So we'll see where it takes us, but for now, you got something to react to. And then it's 9:30. Some more sets of push-ups, and then, my friends, I'm going to go to the party. Follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fatality. Real Cut News on Twitter. Good morning. Happy Reciprocal Day? No? Okay. I'll be right back.
Say from a
Netflix cut to
they could pull back to their 50-day moving average very easily. They're both sitting relatively comfortably above each of them. But the problem with that is if you're taking profit here, which I have no problem with, then you're asking yourself the question, when the market resets in the fourth quarter, how am I getting back in once again? Because these companies continue to deliver. In the case of Netflix, the second half of the year, you're buying the content. The content is going to be phenomenal on Netflix. In the case of CrowdStrike, nothing is changing about the overall global environment and the need to spend on cybersecurity. Pull up a chart of Fortinet today. You could see the very same pattern. I'll add one stock into this conversation, Spotify.
Do it.
That is pulling back as well. That is something that you want to buy on a correction. Each one of these three stocks, any corrective behavior in the third quarter, you want to buy it.
I got to stop you. Let's throw up the S&P 500, please. And we're going to go to Megan Cassell at the White House because we do have some news regarding tariffs. Megan, you ready to go on this?
Yes, I'm reading this as we get it, Scott. The president has just posted on Truth Social 2 letters that he says he has sent to the Prime Minister of Japan and the President of South Korea, informing them both that they will be now charged 25% tariffs beginning on August 1st on all exports that they are sending into the United States. That, of course, will be a tariff that is ultimately paid by the importers in the U.S. who are buying those goods from Japan and South Korea, but all of their exports now to the U.S. will be hit with a 25% tariff beginning on August 1st. He says this will be separate from any sectoral tariffs that might already be in place or might be coming into place. And this, of course, Scott, is what he threatened to do when he said he would be sending letters beginning at noon today to these world leaders. He also says in the letter that if either country decides to retaliate by any amount, he will add that onto the 25% tariff. So it will only increase to match whatever they retaliate with. So we will have to see how these countries respond. The August 1st enactment date does give a little bit more room to negotiate. And one final thing I'll flag, Scott, is that for South Korea, this is the same reciprocal rate. They were initially going to be charged at 25%. For Japan, initially it was 24%. Now it's around 25%. So it's basically kicking back in those reciprocal rates that we first heard about back on April 2nd. Scott?
Okay. All right, Megan, thank you for the very latest. You let us know if you have anything else on that. We'll put you right back on. It's Megan Casella on the North Lawn. Maybe that speaks wise to what you're talking about.
I mean, I'm used to being right, just not proven right so quickly.
It took about 27 minutes or so. We'll see if you're wrong in the next 3 or 4 or 5. It's likely to happen, too. When the minute you start bragging, things start turning on you. But seriously,
yeah, this is the fear.
Those are not insignificant numbers by any stretch. I mean, you're thinking of, cars and chips and things like that.
Look, I don't think those stay, but I think the point is the market will get spooked as countries don't come in and agree to a tariff framework.
Why nobody talk about the currency
until the end of the summer? So that's not new news. He's just saying,
Japan, oh my God, so high. The tariff's going to make us pay so much. Even though currency effect make them pay cheaper.
I don't think those are going to stay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's the part I hate, honestly, that everybody in financial media is not talking about the currency effect. It's a joke. Again, they even brought this up after I brought it up. We saw it on even Congress, bro. A couple people, Goldman, the banks are bringing this up. Like, people on Wall Street are talking about it, but then you go on Bloomberg, you go on CNBC, none of them are mentioning it, but literally, like I'm telling you, the dollar today and then the currency, yeah, he's going after Japan. Japan, we don't trade with them as much as everyone else, but then their currency is clapped. So even if you charge 25% and then they're now saving or making it more attractive by having a weaker currency, the price that we're paying is going down. That's what that data I showed you. Ever since Trump did any sort of tariffs and then the currency in Japan weakened further on the front run, exports have actually been the cheapest from Japan in the last 5 years. So think of it again. You're hearing about Japan and Korea, but remember currency. So yeah, here we are. But other than that, though, it's still going to play a little slow. And like we said, I'd wait now for maybe the good news and see how that comes in. I think Oracle is going to own something. And Oracle, even the news today is that they're offering they're offering discounted services to the government. So that means they're probably offering the government something to receive something. But I don't think they're going to own it. They're going to own part of it or the data or something. But they are the one. They are expected to be the number one beneficiary of a TikTok deal. Yes. But I just don't know how or if they're good. I don't think they're going to own the actual app, but I think they're the beneficiary. They're going to benefit from it in some way, shape, or form. They're trying to, well, I don't know if they're trying to scare it, but ever since the beginning of the year, there's all of these topics and they are complex, but it's just like they leave out a key piece of info. Tariffs, and Trump did put in a high tariff, but they don't tell you about the deflationary aspect throughout history. They want you to focus on something else. Like I'm saying, everyone's talking about tariff rate. Even right now, they're like, wow, we buy a lot of cars. That's a hefty amount. 25% is no joke. But they're all ignoring what has happened in 6 months. You have literally paid less from Japan because of the currency. The currency has weakened dramatically. So even if you charge 25% more, but you're getting a 20% discount on the currency, who cares? The dollar's down 10% in 6 months. What do you think is happening? So it's just they leave out very, very key pieces of info. And sometimes that key piece of info is the make or break it. Again, freak out about China, freak out about Mexico and Canada, but not about China. Again, look at the trade amounts and how much is going through. That's what really, really matters. So we will see. We will see. But other than that, that's why I'm like, you guys, it's on you to pay attention and try to see through it. Dive deeper into some of the narratives and maybe you'll get the answer, and just be prepared too, because I do think a lot is going to shift, and you got to form an idea on your own. Because if you're just listening to the talking points, watch, they're going to start shifting them. Like I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump, if there was inflation as a result of government spending, I wouldn't be surprised if they start talking about growth instead of inflation, which will be expected. So that's why I'm saying start forming these ideas, but you gotta start seeing it, man. And it is very, very, it's gonna be wild, and we're only in for 6 months. But just ask 1 or 2 more questions on a lot of these narratives. I don't have a tie. It was last time there was a congressional thing, I believe, or it was when Powell did the congressional stuff. I think about 2 weeks ago. We just got the first two. I think he posted that to show the letter. They talked about it this morning in the August 1st thing, but Trump just posted what the letter looked like. So, but yeah, they're going to announce some bad ones. Like I said, we're going to get the bad news first. And then I think we're going to hear a couple of good ones, and then we'll be back to where we started. Until something changes. And like I said, though, although I'm feeling like, it's chill, summer, I don't know. Something in me is saying, right when we think we're confident, right when you get confident, it's about to get upended. So, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit just head on a swivel. I am doubting some things. Healthy doubt. Doubt your efforts, not your aim. Palantir. Bro, Palantir, and then bonds are still clapping, but SPY's coming up. But then again, SPY got murdered on the trade stuff. Yeah, dude, Toyota and Coupang did hit on that. They came back up a little bit. And then remember, like we saw with Canada and Mexico, watch the plays that get affected by it the most, and then see, because if they stop going down, then you'll eventually watch the SPY kind of do its own thing. Kathy Wood said our GDP will rise to 7. I don't know what's gonna happen, dude. You don't think it's weird? I've been saying this from the beginning of the year, and again, we've done good, and I think we've been accurate on a lot of other factors. But you guys don't think it's weird that I've been telling you this? I think it's weird. I think it weirds me out, dude. I said it from before Trump even got into office. I was like, dude, it's either gonna be really good or really bad, and that is how I'm still feeling. Because they are putting a lot of money, there's a lot of big changes, and then, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in place where it's like, dude, we could get a lot of growth. But then, too, it's like, if this doesn't work, and you blow all this money, and it doesn't lead to that 7, 5, 4, 3, oh, dude, it's not going to be good, man. So, I think it's wild that we're 7 months in, and like, you're still flirting with a big bet, and you don't know how it's going to materialize yet. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's our next stage, is we're getting the first shift, and now we're going to start moving into that era of like, what's the result? What's the reality of the economy? And we'll see. So, yeah, man, it's tripping me out though, man. And that's why I'm like, at this point, I don't have an answer. I don't think anybody has an answer. And it's like, maybe we do get, maybe Kathy isn't that crazy. Maybe we do get 7, but I also have a scenario where we get like a 1. And that's the thing that's scary, is that you have there's a really wide range still between the highest and the lowest estimate of what could really happen. ASST, that's the chat stock. That one's, again, they're a Bitcoin treasury play now too. Unfortunately, I just think they're all scams, man. Even if it's a Chad, bro, I think it's a scam. So just be careful. That's all. I don't mean to talk shit. I don't want to talk shit because I know the guy who made that company. But at the end of the day, I apply the logic equally, my friends. So unfortunate. If it looked like it, smelled like it, I'm gonna categorize it. Trump letters go out Thursday. Barron's talking about it now. Oil round 4 today. Economy clapped or stabbed. Amen. But I've been saying that since before Trump was the president. I say that in November. And that's why the weird part is I don't think we have that answer yet. We don't know. Because like I'm saying, we spent 6 months of freaking out. But now that we're finally getting stuff moving, we're really about to see how this materializes. And that's going to be the next era of what the economy and growth really does. And that'll make sense because that'll be another 6 months. And then we'll be at day 365. So let's see. Oil's even flipped a lot. It flipped the airlines when they started off good and then just going. I think it's China demand, though. They raised the price and then the China demand, that just tracks. But other than that, could just be a slow Monday with the holiday. Yeah, current as well. I think it's just dollar and yen. Everybody else is gonna take a back seat when the yen's moving that big, and then you got the dollar. Yeah, it's gonna do its thing. Ray, what up, baby? How you living, man? You enjoying New Jersey real estate? Dude, I saw a place in New Jersey. They're going for like 300-400 grand now. Some for like 280. But dude, there was places in Jersey 2 years ago going for 60K. So that's part of why they're going nuts. But yeah, Ray reminded me of that. He's an agent in Jersey. 30 again, there was something with the bond auctions, and then this week is categorized by a large supply of bond auctions. So thank you, Mr. Bassant. And then gold is climbing still. What was the other one? There was Oscar and Uba. It's insane. I know, but I always thought Jersey had like a higher baseline. But I was kind of shocked to see, like, dude, there was like 60K houses in Jersey, bro, for like a long time. Yeah, bro, go to those areas, honestly. I think go to some of those places where they bought them for like 60K, because now they could get like 200-300 grand, and it's so those guys would probably be more motivated. But I'm blown away. I was like, that kind of makes sense why it's getting so hot, because then the hot places went crazy, and now there was still some cheap stuff. I just don't know how people pay New Jersey taxes. I don't know how you guys will sign up for that shit. That's coming from the guy in California, because we don't have property tax like that in Cali. Cali's 1%, 1.5%. But yeah, I don't know how you guys do that. Jay-Z. S&P revises Hewlett-Packard outlook to stable, reaffirms BBB. Costco on the high. Kind of moving. I feel like I haven't heard Costco in a while. I know Burlington Coat Factory, Habibi. Burlington. No, Jersey Coat Factory? What do you mean, Jersey? Jersey. IDAI. No, Jersey taxes are crazy, bro. It is crazy. The inspection, it came in good. The well took like an extra day or two, so we had to get a delay. But essentially, I did pull contingencies to a degree. They were willing to work with us on some things, but yeah. I'm going to get final loan numbers, and we're waiting on one more thing, but all goes well. I mean, I should be selling pretty soon, so we'll find out. But yeah, everything was legit. Just dusty. That's it. Dirty. But I'm excited. I was there for like 4 or 5 hours on Thursday. We did get the water quality there. Dude, it's so weird. It has septic, but it's hooked up to the city. So it's super weird. It has septic and city, water, sewage, everything, and electric. So I was like, man. So they didn't connect it. So it cost $50K to connect it to the sewer, even though it's there. I'm like, what? But yeah, we got the septic report as well. I don't like septic. I hate septic, actually. But it's doable. It's doable. So it's just cheaper. No, it's just like, because the fee is $50K, or you could spend $5K a year on the septic for 10 years. So, you know, it go both ways, Habibi. It goes both ways. And then, dude, the guy, I didn't realize it till I was like running around on the property. Dude, they had a RV. So they had 2 people who live on the property. One person took care of the horses, and then another person just took care of the land, and they let him park his RV. He hooks his RV up to the electricity and the septic, and he just lives there in his RV. I didn't notice it. I'm like, how did I not notice a gigantic ass trailer? It's that big of a property, that's why. But finally I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, this homeboy's just living here. He's just living in his trailer. It's not attached to a car or anything, and he just lives in it, and it's wired up to everything. So I was like, all right, that's a pretty good idea. So we have room for that. Okay, SPY is coming back down. This is the South Korea, Japan thing. Am I planning on letting him stay? I might, but I do want this all clean. So I would prefer to just take it, let them give me references, and then I have some people, and then I'm gonna have one opening. Well, we'll see. I would like the RV hookups, but they do get kind of smelly. That's the thing. I did notice it was kind of smelly around there with the septic. Only robot. What was the other one? BSGM. Well, yeah, like I said, we'll once I post the video, you will. I was gonna do it this weekend, but I said I'll wait because I got a good shot of it. I filmed the little one there at the inspection. Apple's flushing, so yeah, Apple started the flush. They dropped a little bit more on the Japan stuff, and then again, Microsoft and Google. Your septic guy in town, 50 years. His name is Barefoot. He does all of the septic stuff barefoot. Blech. C-Rev. For the city hookup? Well, we don't need the septic's fine. That's what I'm saying. It makes more sense to keep the septic than to pay it. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you could use the sewer, but we're just not going to use baby wipes on the property. That's the only downside. But, you know, the septic is just cheap. So the same price you would spend up front, you would spend in 10, 15 years of septic. So I'd rather use that money for a structure or a pool, like a crazy pool. Or we just get one of those cow watering holes. So yeah, many options. Many options. All right, SPY coming down. Apple, but even like Coupang's chilling. So this is just the SPY. Check Toyota as well. They're a little bit lower, but notice if the trade-related stocks stop moving, this is just the SPY continuing. AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, you got a little pop, 20 cents, not bad. It's only up 2.5. We haven't had any volatility trigger yet. More currency lows, euro and Swiss. I'm assuming the dollar is climbing then still. Yep. Yeah, that's right. So dollar has gone straight up and rising. It was already up a quarter when that came out. AAP's going a little bit more now. Chad Resort. Well, we could, but we got to plan it out. I mean, you want to know what my idea was for the week? My idea was this. I had another idea. I want to take like 4 Chads and I want to make a farmer's market company. I want to sell carrots because there's a viral thing going on that carrots make you tan if you eat a lot. So I want to make a video and I want 4 Chads and we dress up in like old 1950s outfits, you know, and then we grow carrots. And then every week we take it to the farmer's market and we sell carrots, right? But then we have this like crazy video, right? With like a drone over the property, right? You guys waking up at like 4 a.m. and we're like, look at these hardworking American Chads, and like they wake up at 4 a.m. to go, and then you guys are all gonna be tan because it's outside anyways. So you know what I'm saying? But then we can make a wave, bro. We could bring our Chad to the farmer's market. They'll be like, what? You guys wake up every day at 4 a.m. I'll be like, we take our carrots seriously. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, they would love it. They'd go viral in California. They'd be like, yeah, it's a little farm. It's good. That's it, bro. We get the Kardashians, and they're like, yeah, we eat these cold carrots. I don't know what the margins are. I haven't ran through it. I was just thinking the marketing of it. You know, that's it. I'm just saying, bro. Because I would buy. If I went to a farmer's market and saw it, and they're like, we have our own farm. And we take our farm and we wake up and they showed me a video of them waking up. I'd be like, all right, I'm down. Colt carrots. We could work on the name. Chad carrots. We could work on the name. Just don't worry. Low ticker again. Sadly, I don't think this is the trade stuff. So again, I think this is just the market doing its thing prior, but you'll notice the ones that were very reactive to the headline, the dollar's still going up and the market's still coming down, but the individual names, they're not going down, or the ones related to the trade. So this is what we did I think on the Canada shit, if you recall. So that's the template that I'm using. There you go. Tim will do the slogan. See, I'm just saying. The headline about 30 minutes ago was Trump posted a Truth Social of his letter that he's sending to Japan and South Korea about not having a deal and how they will have 25% tariffs, and if they retaliate, then we will match the rate plus 25. Yeah, big tech, not playing. You're down about 1% now. Remember, Russell was only down by 0.3, and now it's down 1.5. Dow down 1.1. I think there's probably 2 names green on the Dow now. Three: Merck, IBM, and Walmart. Only one's green on the Dow. Pizza. I know they said the carrot tanning thing is poison, but I'm just saying horses eat carrots. I don't know how that relates, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't dabble in SWBI, no. Because gun stocks aren't popular. Like, everybody goes crazy when there's like gun control, but gun stocks, like, guns don't make money. Guns are hard to sell. And it's just like you need them and they're useful, but the companies as an investment, maybe back in like the 40s they would have been hot, but at this point I haven't seen a profitable gun company. Like, you know, it's just not really worth it. LME, yeah, cop. Again, I think the China tin might hold. Yeah, you don't buy a new gun every season. It's just crazy, bro. Guns just, that's it. Like, I think even my ARs, they might have held value, but I think they went down. And then you can't sell them. I can only sell my guns to cops. So it's not even like, it's just a weird market. But like, people rush and they buy them when people get scared, and then that's it. They just get random boosts from the scaring hype, and then that's it. But it's not like a long-standing, like, it has more liability than not. Imagine if they changed the liability laws too. So that's it. You buy a new pistol every year? Really? No. That's crazy. That's a lot. That's a lot of weaponry. Okay, Pete. I'm gonna call you Mr. Hegseth from now on. We need another submarine. We need 10 of them. 20, 30, 100. Pistol Pete. John Wick. I got John Wick in the chat. He's like, I buy one every season, Josh. Okay, Mr. Wick. Nobody mess with that guy's dog. All right? I'm not playing. Don't play with the Chads, bro. You know that? That's where I'm so excited for the compound, you know? Because we get to put it to real life. Because I've told y'all can mess with me. That's fine, bro. Believe me, I'm a nice guy. I ain't trying to be like, praise the Lord. But y'all got to worry about the other Chads. I'm more scared of that. You know that? I'm more scared of the hater mixed with the Josh lover. You know that? I'm more scared of that than anything. Because I don't want you guys, you don't have to defend me, but some of y'all talk too much shit, and then it's a bad combo. It's a bad combo. But yeah, the Chads, y'all terrifying, bro. Amen, bro. They're my brothers, though, so I'm amen, bro. Amen. It says Caroline's live, but I don't have the video. So it'll start here in a second. But yeah, it's already 9:55. Alrighty. Well, we're going to get Caroline. You're at the low. But then we might have to go to Philo. Nibis self-driving taxi spotted in Austin? No. They have a self-driving? Since when? I don't remember that one. Well, watch out for that. Again, people like that one when Core Weave. I thought it was just a Core Weave one, but that'd be nice if they could add another narrative. The Euro letter. They're gonna talk about the letters, but then see if she teases. She's good though. She knows not to step on the toes. So I don't think she'll preview it, but she might. You never know if she says anything about another letter to a country we haven't heard about. You at least know what the letter involves and what it will entail. So we'll see. Netflix got a downgrade today. I think that's why it chilled. My voice was in your dream and all I was hearing was long term. Well, good. It's good, man. Do you believe, though? Like, do you believe? Like, do you believe any? Oh, yeah, you forgot? I hope you didn't forget that philo, bro. That Thursday philo, bro. Y'all better no limitate. Stop it. يا عمري ازيك حبيبي انت عارف كويس انت مش عبيط جو بايدن عبيط اوي Isn't it, dude? Typing in Arabic, Hamar, Biden, Hamar, Awi. It's so funny, like, watching Arabic or, like, reading Arabic, how they type it in English. It's so cool because they, like, type it in English letters to sound how it does it. It took me a while to realize it. I remember the first time I saw Arabic typed in English, it tripped me out. Alright, what's the date today? 7/7. 7/7/25. 7/7. 5 + 2 is 7. 7 7 7. Oh, you're a prophet. Okay, gotta go. Alright. My prophet heals people. My prophet could tell the future. Oh, my prophet does Elmo. Oh, okay, bye. What the fuck? You see, guys, it's so weird. It's your birthday? Happy birthday. Yo, happy belated too, bro. We have a lot of July 4ths as well, man. Horn off. Woo! Happy birthday. Pop, pop, pop. What is it? How do you do it in it? Sana hilwa mayaso. Sana hilwa mayaso. Sana hilwa mayaso. That's how you say that's happy birthday in Arabic. So happy birthday, big dog. And all the belated, y'all get an Arabic one. I didn't give away money on the 4th. I was too late. Dude, I couldn't stream. I got late like at night. I didn't have time to set it up. And then you can't stream live while driving. I didn't have all the equipment. So we burned that one. Sanahilwa mayasua. Your son was born on Saturday. A new one? Oh, new Chad. New Chad alert. That's dope, bro. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. Get him a long term. Yalla. Can I sing it in Chinese? I don't know Chinese, baby girl. I only know Arabic. So if I knew it, I could, but nope, not fluent in Mandarin. I could pronounce Mandarin good, though. If you tell me the word, I could, like, kind of say it, but other than that, I ain't got no man. Shishi. That's it. I know Shishi very well. I know a couple of other ones. The Big Beautiful Bill was on last week, I think, or the week before that, end of the week. Dr. Curious. So, Dr. Curious, do you want me to ban you or do you want me to warn you? Which one would you like? I just read your Chad facts, and I can't even show the Chad what you've said because you let some other shit slip by in there. So, how do you want to do this? Well, you could ask in 24 hours. We'll see. So, I'm going to time you out. Take that as a warning, and then depending on your next messages, I'll use that as if you want to get banned or not. Because, again, once I ban people, I can't unban them, you guys. So, I'm going to try my best to make this work, but yeah, if I keep having to correct, it's just easier to not deal with it. Shishi means nothing in Nigerian slang. No, how do you say thank you in Nigerian? Shishi. How does one get into the cult house? It will be a process, but once you meet all qualifications and background checks, you will be sent an address, and then you will be instructed to meet at that address, and then a guy wearing a shirt with a puppet on there will pick you up, and then he will take your phone. He may or may blindfold you depending on your health and what other, depending on California law, and then he will put you in the car, and then you will leave your current vehicle, and then he will take you to an undisclosed location, and then you will be there for at no more longer than a week. How do you start the process? A lot like the long term. Step 1 is patience. So you'll know it when you see it, One day, you'll know. U.S. will not impose new tariffs against BRIC members immediately if anti-American policy actions taken, says Reuters. Thank you. Thank you. You do well. It sounds like thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Long term is on this channel and my Twitter. So if you go to this channel, you don't even need to be a member and just click. Is it under membership or it should be under post? Yeah, go under post. So again, 2 months ago, 223. That was our last long-term pickup, and then at 217 we bought NVO. But yeah, it's all there. It's on my Twitter, and you can see everything, and you'll be good. All right, but now, Chad, we got to go to Philo. So I was thinking what's her name was going to be on, but I might have to punt if she don't get on. I have a different Philo for you guys. We're going to see. Today's Philo is going to be fascinating. So, Chad Adonia, it is time to move on over, but I love you, and I hope you had a great day, okay? And I hope you're ready for more, and I hope you're blessed, bro. That's why. So we're going to go talk about Jesus now. If you guys want to join, I'd love for you to be there. It's free. But then again, it does require your attitude to not be truant. So like I'm saying, bro, if you want to be a part of it, be a part of it. If not, well, I'm sure you'll have a better experience doing what you love, and I love this. So be where you want to be around what you want to be. I would never encourage you to do anything other than that. So if you want to be at Philo, I hope I see you there. Otherwise, that is all, my friends. We gotta go. I'll see the spies at the low. Don't you worry. So God bless Chatadonia, and peace.